with Sweet Home Alabama in the background. We'll remind you Nick Saban's record against his former assistant coaches is unblemished. Today it's game number 20 in that regard against Texas A&M, with Jimbo Fisher looking to become the first to break the Saban streak. Nick Saban's never lost to one of his former assistants. Here they are head-to-head. Two old friends embrace out at midfield. Will Muschamp, one of those assistants, mentor and one of his pupils, Jimbo Fisher. Can he be the one to finally pick off Nick? He gets another chance at it today from Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. It's the Home Depot SEC on CBS. And it is indeed the Aggies of Texas A&M, number 13 in the country, against the second-ranked Crimson Tide of Alabama. About 20,000 here in Bryant-Denny Stadium. Normally it'd be a little over 100. Gorgeous day for football, and we welcome you to Tuscaloosa, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. My partners are Gary Danielson and Jamie Erdahl. Gare, second week in a row we're in the SEC West. Saw a little bit of a shocker last week, an LSU team trying to defend its national championship. Lost so much through opt-out in the NFL. And now we've got Alabama, who on an annual basis loses a lot of people in both regards, but they got a lot of talent back, and they're still the gold standard. Right?
And they're hungry after not winning last year. And yes, we used to talk about like star players. Well, their big four this year are not their four receivers. A little different. There's two of them, but Najee Harris is a big part of this game. And of course, Mac Jones takes over as the signal caller, carrying over from a year ago. But the two big weapons are back, Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith. I think the best pair in college football, and they're ready to roll this year. They're the feature guys. They don't have to share it, and anybody that goes up against them has to deal with their expertise, their explosiveness, and their speed. But you know what? Coming back to Alabama might be really, really good defense. They got their leader. Dylan Moses is back. He missed last season with a knee injury. They missed him. And you know what? When they have a defense with their offense, Nick Saban has a championship formula. You know, when we were watching Texas A&M last year, be it in practice or in games, we said, you know, they're a year away. And I think all the Aggie fans are thinking, okay, it's year 3 under Jimbo Fisher. He did it at Florida State. Can he do it at Texas A&M? But they were a little rocky against Vanderbilt last week. They were. I think they were a little nervous as the game went along. And I think A&M would have liked to have played Alabama a little later in the season. But the changeup, they got him today, and they got to get ready. What I think A&M has to do is give their quarterback Kellen Mond some help. It's been all Kellen Mond, running the ball, play action passes, options, throwing the ball. He's taken a beating. He's ran the ball for over 100. Can his running backs, those two guys, Spiller and Smith, Isaiah Spiller, Anaya Smith, can they give him something out of the backfield, both in the passing game and hopefully the running game, to help this quarterback? They're going to have to be helpful today against the vaunted Alabama defense. We'll talk to Jamie and kick it off here in Tuscaloosa, coming up in a moment. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Allstate, Mercedes-Benz, the Home Depot, and by Rocket Mortgage. Back at Bryant-Denny Stadium, where the second-ranked Crimson Tide of Alabama about to take the field, where they've won 32 of the last 33 here at home. You can actually hear yourself in this stadium. As A&M comes out, they won't even hear the same amount of boos. They come in ranked 13th in the country, and they've had trouble against top 5 teams recently.
We promised you Jamie Erdahl, and here she is. Jamie?
Brad, it's been very interesting speaking with players coming off of the strangest offseason of their short lives. The sentiment I hear most often is how scary it was for them, not knowing whether football as they know it would return to them. Well, once it did, players jumped right back into action. But that fear turned into angst for coaches as they found out on a day-to-day basis whether or not players would play or opt out of the season. Some teams were hit harder than others. Texas A&M lost a half a dozen guys. Alabama, 0, headlined by running back Najee Harris. Now, Harris had decided to return to Alabama in the offseason before COVID-19 was ever a thing. But he's a man known in this program as a guy that he means what he says and says what he means. And by the welcome here in this lower capacity stadium, Brad, Alabama's happy to have him back.
And as you said, he's a man, and you went on to the end of the sentence. He's a man, and he's the man in their backfield, coming off a 98-yard, 3-touchdown game in the opener last week. And he is a Heisman Trophy candidate if you've ever seen one as a running back. Protocol, about 19,424 here. Face masks required. No tailgating. That was kind of weird coming into the stadium, and the cheerleaders and band will perform from the stands.
And I will say, Ness, evenly spaced out. I mean, it's like Saban drew up this formation. These people are
or
6
Steve
feet.
Sarkisian.
Yes,
I don't know.
I mean, they are 6 feet apart, and they ain't moving any closer. I'll tell you that.
There you look at the crowd, which would normally be at 100,077. If there's a prettier day for a football game, we haven't seen it yet.
That's for sure.
13th time these two teams have gotten together. Alabama's won 10. Texas A&M has won 2. And Alabama has won 7 straight since that loss back in 2012 that Zook and the guys were reliving for you with Johnny Manziel and company.
And we will remember being here 2 years ago when it actually took 3 plays to get a touchdown. Remember that?
That's right.
A second play interception, and then a touchdown on the 3rd play of the game for Alabama.
Alabama won the toss and deferred. So Texas A&M is going to be getting the football first. Chase Allen has got it teed up, and Chase Lane and Jalen Preston are back on the other end. Week 2 of the SEC season from Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. And a fair catch called for, taken, and the Aggies will work from the 25-yard line. And that means the guy we've been talking about for roughly an hour between the pregame show and our pregame, Kellen Mond. He's got all the tools, but like Gary said, little help, man.
Little help. Well, he's been sacked 12 times the last 2 years against this Alabama team, and his tailback has not been able to run the ball at all.
He's got a big-time tight end that is a problem for a lot of teams in Weidermeyer, who had 2 touchdowns against Alabama a year ago. Isaiah Spiller in the backfield with Kellen Mond. On the first snap offensively for the Aggies. Play fake, quick slant, quick completion, and a first down and pick up a 14 to Jalen Preston.
How pretty was that? Right in his face. Will Anderson, number 31, was coming right at him, and the ball's delivered in rhythm. And Ness, you know, when we talked to Jimbo last night, he said, I want some rhythm throws early in this game, and he got one right there.
He sure did. Jalen Preston, who caught 4 balls all of last year, caught 4 last week, and he's got a 14-yard pickup on the first snap. First down at the 39. Again, a little hesitation on that throw, but he tucked it in there somehow.
How did he get that in there?
I don't know, but he got it to Cam Brown.
I thought Jordan Battle, number 9, had this thing.
He was battling him. I'll take that.
Yes, he was. Coming right across the throw. And how does he not take that ball? Wow. Great concentration on the catch. Perfect throw. It had to be. What a catch, huh?
And all the way out to the 49-yard line on 2 snaps.
And remember, this is wide receivers that dropped in a count like 5 or 6 balls last week against Vanderbilt.
What a way to start things off for the Aggies offensively, almost to midfield, and now they're across midfield as Spiller takes it in to Alabama territory just outside the 47-yard line. And the Alabama defense, as we take a look at it, it's going, what's hitting us here in the first minute and 20 seconds? Here's the defensive lineup. Brian Ray back in there after an injury a year ago.
I think if you're Alabama, though, you know quarterbacks are going to hit some slants against you. If Alabama shuts down the run game, I think they like their chances long term.
Patrick Surtain, one of the leaders of the secondary. Here's a little delayed handoff and getting to the edge again is Spiller. And he's got it to the 41-yard line.
Well, this is a veteran offensive line. It's their turn to step up also and help their quarterback. As I said, 12 sacks the last 2 years. This time up front, that veteran line shows that they can block and move and run the ball. I really think that's the key to the football game.
They've got 111 career starts among them, so
I'd say that's veteran.
That's veteran. Ainias Smith checks in the backfield.
This could be 12 men in the huddle if they're not careful, and Jimbo took a timeout
to avoid the penalty.
Yes. I wouldn't be 12 men in the huddle. It'd be 12 men in the formation, which would be the same penalty.
Cam Brown was trying to get out, and Kagan Baldry was trying to get in. So a timeout with 12:54 to go first quarter. Aggies off to a good start here. Their opening possessions moved it to the Alabama 41-yard line already, and they called that timeout with a little indecision on who's going to be on the field. Cam Brown was trying to get off. They were trying to get the fullback / tight end on, and now they've gone back to the original lineup as Cam Brown's back in at wide receiver. On a 2nd down at 4. Couldn't draw it up any better than this so far, Gary.
Yes, everybody doing their job. You know, offensive line, when they were called upon to do the run blocking, they did it. Short passes so far, no real pressure on the quarterback.
Ainias Smith flanks Kellen Mond in the backfield. They fake it to him and flip it out in the flat, complete to Weidemeyer, the tight end I talked about, and he's got a first down.
So when we were talking to Jimbo about how he wanted to design this game plan against Alabama, he was looking for targets to Weidemeyer. He'd like to throw him the ball, or hand him the ball, I guess. He could do that.
Yeah.
6 to 8 times in this football game. Ainias Smith, 16 to 24 touches he's looking for.
Hasn't touched it yet.
He's looking to kind of use him like Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of the backfield and make him a wide receiving running back.
He flanks out to the top of your screen in this instance on first down. Quick slant again, that one in the hands and out.
Coverage.
Very nice job by Malachi Moore, the freshman.
Yes, one of the things that you do at Alabama is you bring in great players, true freshmen that can replace the guys that are going into the NFL. They're ready to play. It's whether they can handle that Nick Saban defense. And talking to the coaching staff, they said Malachi Moore did.
It's a lot to consume, and
yes.
Pete Golding said he just kept getting better and better on figuring out where he was supposed to be and where he was supposed to play, and in that case a perfect play to knock that ball down. 2nd down at 10. Here's Ainias Smith, and he got to the edge, and he is quick to the 21 and a first down. Wow.
Well, then offensive line, this time Jared Hocker, number 73, goes from this guard position and kicks out to the outside.
So here's his first touch, and it goes for 14.
There it is, and fitting around inside. Carson Green, number 54, comes behind him. A really good seal-off from the right guard and the right tackle on that play.
Another first down.
I tried to get fancy with that telestrator. It did not work. Did not work.
Not as fancy as the footwork of Ainias Smith,
I'm
anyway.
0 for 1.
And both guys in there now, Spiller and Smith. On either side of Kellen Mond, who's going to throw it in the flat to Smith. Got one block, but not enough. Cam Brown was out there trying to get a block for him. Only got about a yard.
I think if you're A&M fans, you're going, all right, not every play is going to work, but they're efficient. They're getting rid of the ball. They're catching the ball. No penalties. You know, when you look at your football team, and you go, okay, we'll take our chances if we do that.
Yeah, they put it on the ground too much last week, and so far it's been flawless to get it to the almost red zone, 21-yard line.
You consider fumbles, drop passes, safeties, everything they did. They were very fortunate to win that opener.
It actually is at the 20-yard line. 2nd down and 9. Mond goes to the corner, back shoulder throw, had a hand on it but couldn't hold it, and that was Chase Lane.
And that was also Malachi Moore again, the true freshman. They attacked the true freshman. Go with matchups, throw it on the true freshman, balls thrown properly. really good coverage would have had to be a perfect throw.
Yep. There you get a look at it from pylon cam right into your living room or wherever you might be watching. 3rd down and 9. Last week, 40% on their 3rd downs against Vanderbilt. This is really a big one to try to keep the drive going here that's been very good to this point. And the opening 4.5 minutes. Mond going to go back that way again, and this time off the fingertips of Jalen Preston.
Those are those 50-50 balls that A&M, you know, needs to make. When you're going to play Alabama in bump and run coverage, you have to defeat it. I remember last year, Jamie did a report that she talked to Kellen Mond, and he goes, you know, first of all, I trust my eyes, and then I trust my guys. And he had 3 guys he had last year. Now these are new guys. And when I said he'd like to play Alabama later, they're still not quite in sync.
Seth Small, who hit 1 field goal last week, will try one here, and it is way no good. That one had no chance.
Just like we were talking about, be efficient. That's one of those plays. You have an opportunity to finish off a drive, and you don't.
Seth Small, I don't think anybody got a hand on it. That was just a shank to the left from 37 yards out. Still no score here in Tuscaloosa. Working on the left leg of the injured Aggie. Grayson Reed, backup tackle.
Let's try to show you where he was on this lineup. He's right there.
Rolled up in the pile and clutching his left knee or left leg, and this is something we hate to see. Not often you have an injury on a field goal attempt.
Yeah, they interlocked their legs there, and he obviously got it caught on the play.
Junior out of Cypress, Texas.
Yeah, got his left leg caught in the ground as he was inside rush on the play.
Well, the picture tells the story on Grayson Reed, the 6'5", 300-pound junior tackle out of Cypress, Texas. And you see the trainers for both schools out there as the cart will take him to the locker room, and we will hope that it's not as serious as it looks on the left leg. Jamie?
Yeah, Grayson Reed just gave his teammates a nod. They were all pretty shocked and on their knee as they watched him get carted up here. He was a late ad this week, guys. Monday he was told that he would travel after being nicked up all through training camp. So this was a new set for him. Fresh to the field for Texas A&M this season as he gets carted off. A tough blow.
Oh, man. And he gets a nice round of applause from the folks here in Tuscaloosa as Alabama takes over following the missed field goal. They start with 2 tight end set here. And Najee Harris for the first time. He lays his shoulder into the defender after he picked up about 6. And number 10, Mac Jones, who finished off the season last year after Tua Tagovailoa was injured, and then the starter a week ago and very effective. 4-1 as a starter. The loss was to Auburn, but he's been pretty effective when he's been in there, and it's his show right now. Even though we'll probably see the backup quarterback at some time today. And we got motion and a flag.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 73, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Jason Autry's our referee for the 2nd week in a row. Let's set the rest of the offense. If you want to be protected, have Alex Leatherwood do the protecting for you. He'll be the next #1 draft choice off the offensive line for Alabama.
Left tackles produced some there, too.
Yeah, it sure has. A whole bunch of them in a row. So 2nd down and 9. Forrestall at tight end in motion. And the gives to Najee Harris for only a yard. Nice job by the Aggie defense, led by Mike Elko, the defensive coordinator. And here's that lineup across the front. Bobby Brown almost was an Alabama player. Buddy Johnson is their leader without a doubt, leading tackler a year ago, and he is again. And a 3rd down and 8. Jones sets, gonna go deep, got a man, and got it, complete. John Mechie, touchdown. 78 yards for the score. So if you're an Alabama fan and you were worried there wouldn't be a 3rd wideout to go to, hello, John Mechie.
And here's who he's looking at right there. That's safety. When he does not come off the hash, Mac Jones knows outside is one-on-one, and no one can throw a ball better than that.
Wow.
Hit him right on stride. So big two, stop the big two, stop the big two. Oh, gee, but
here's a new guy.
They got a 3rd guy.
On a 3rd down and 8, a 78-yard touchdown pass. And the extra point by Will Reichert is up and good.
And for A&M, the shock of having a successful drive for no points and a 3rd and long for a touchdown. Better buckle up. It's not easy playing in Tuscaloosa.
John Mechie's first touchdown as a Crimson Tide player is a long ball for 78. Mac Jones says, nothing to it. Stream CBS Sports HQ, the completely free and always on sports network for highlights, breaking news, and expert picks. Download the CBS Sports app on your phone or connected TV to watch today. And you can watch our own Jamie Erdahl live on HQ after our game today. Quick striking Alabama offense split the Tide in front 7-0. Chase Allen's kick. This time returnable, but a fair catch taken again by Chase Lane as we take you back to the touchdown.
Well, everything's got to work. There was a big 4. There's also a big 5 around here this year. That offensive line. Watch the big 5 create that pocket. Jones steps up cleanly. When you can step into a throw like that, even your receiver can double catch it. A lot of good players on this team. I'm just going to let you know. I've been watching a lot of tape. Alabama's got a lot of good players on their team there, Ness.
They do. John Mechie's 7th career catch as a Crimson Tide player is a touchdown. And there's somebody else to worry about now if you're playing Alabama. There's a throw out the flat to Preston. And he's got a 1st down. Nice little sidestep.
And Kellen Mond got the time to come to his 2nd receiver that time. That offensive line gave him the time to look for his 1st guy, double clutch, and go to the 2nd. Veteran line, nice pocket, just as good as the pocket Mac Jones has, and he tosses it off to his drop-off player.
And Smith checks back in to the Aggie backfield. On 1st down at the 38. They fake it to him, and he's trying that left side again. Overshot completely.
Boy, Michael Clemens that time coming off the edge. I mean, he's very fortunate to get that off. Talking about a lot of hits. Get into the pocket. And boom, he gets.
That was Surtain.
Surtain, it was. Yeah. You're right. It was Surtain.
Came out of the corner blitz.
You think you got it, and then all of a sudden, you got it for sure.
Seems like yesterday we said about Patrick Surtain as a freshman, man, he's going to be good. Nice a junior. He's one of the old guys back there.
And you know what? We were right.
Yeah, we were.
He's going to be good.
2nd down and 10. Here's Smith brought down after a short game. Only got a couple. Dylan Moses tripped him up, I think, along with Eboigbe. Dylan Moses, the captain of the defense, the guy Gary talked about in the open. And it was Eboigbe, actually, that got him around the ankles.
Dillon makes everyone a better player out there. Calling the defenses, you know, it was a story about Alabama all last year, the young inside linebackers.
3rd down and 8. They were efficient on their 3rd downs on their first drive.
False start. Offense, number 18. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Cam Brown jumped, and that makes their 3rd down much harder. Third down at 13.
Now we'll see if this offensive line can hold up.
Yeah.
Pete Golding, defensive coordinator for Alabama, brought Surtain on the corner blitz to hit Kellen Mond as a little bit of a message. Let's see how they hold up here.
Mond, they held up beautifully, but he missed his intended receiver. They're looking for a flag.
I thought he got hit before the ball got there.
Chase Lane wanted a flag, and
yes,
they don't get it.
The timing was very close. Lane thought he got hit before it got there. 3-man rush. Time to throw it, and yeah, I think he did kind of get hit.
I do too.
Yep.
So it brings up the punting situation. Jalen Waddle, try to keep it out of his hands if you're Nick Castanino.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
That'd be a good idea.
4 for 128 yards last year, just changed the football game.
He was an All-American as a special teams player, as a return man last year.
Must be 12 men on the field for Alabama. Or delay a game, one of the two.
Delay a game.
Delay a game.
Kicking team, number 95. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Back judge calling that. You know, he's either counting 12 or looking at the clock. One of the two.
So Constantino will back up and be around his own 15 when he takes this snap. Jalen Waddle waiting on it on the other end.
The guy that got away from Texas A&M, he's paid dearly.
It's a good punt. He's going to have a crack at it over his shoulder, though. Took it at the 24. And has a high step out of bounds around the 36. And now we're going to do Project Smarter, presented by the Home Depot. And you were just talking about this guy. This is pretty smart.
Yeah, when you're deciding where to go, those decisions are big. And came down to A&M and Alabama. He's from Texas, and he goes, I'm going Alabama. And last year in this football game was a big difference. Taking a 3rd down short throw and showing what he can do. Trying to be, what the word is around Alabama, try to be relevant. There's so many good players. You got to show you deserve the football.
He's in motion right now to the near side. They give it off to Najee Harris. Najee, tough sledding so far against the front of the Aggies. Nice job by Bobby Brown. Talking about another guy that came down between A&M and Alabama.
The opposite way.
Yeah.
Right? It was a signing day surprise that he went with the Aggies instead of Alabama. Good football player, especially against the run.
Bobby Brown the third. They call him Trey. And he's about 300 pounds. Play fake. Wide receiver screen complete. To Mechie again, and only got about a yard. So he's got 2 catches for 79 yards.
We're just going to say last time on 3rd down that a year ago Alabama scored 3 touchdowns on 3rd and long, and on the first 3rd and long in this game they score a touchdown again. We saw a little bit of that last week with Mississippi State and LSU, and now we see it on the first 3rd and long for Alabama.
Mac Jones 4 out of 5 a week ago in the win over Mizzou. 3rd down and 9. Here they come. Elko's bringing the house. Jones, another deep ball. Man out there. Got him again, and it's Mechie again. His defender fell down, but he got it all the way to the 30-yard line. Another big pass play.
You got to give that Alabama front 5 and the running back. They picked up that blitz and gave Mac Jones. Watch Najee Harris sift out. Yes, Najee gets just enough apiece on that play to allow Mac Jones. You can see the way he drifted. He knew he was in a little trouble.
Najee Harris off the left side with a flag down, got 3 or 4, but we'll see about the penalty.
Mack was anticipating an all-out blitz. One of the defenders dropped. He didn't know if he was going to have to throw hot or not. It was picked up well and produced a big play again.
35-yard pass play on that one.
Illegal substitution. Defense. 12 players on the field with snap. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
They've had a little problem with it offensively in that area and got a timeout called, and this time it's the defense.
So think how the quarterback thinks here. He sees everybody at the line of scrimmage. He's not sure if they bring more than Alabama can pick up. So he drifts away, and at the end, he's got the ball long enough to deliver it to Mechie.
So it's 1st and 5. Pump fake. Jones throws sideline to Forrestal. Make a heck of a catch.
Make yourself relevant. That's what you got to do at Alabama. The competition around here to get on the field is first, and then once you get on the field, you got to be enough to get the ball thrown to you.
Good catch by the tight end Forrestal. We've got another player down. I think it's Eric Young. We'll check on him when we come back. Tomorrow on 60 Minutes, why are the historic West Coast fires so massive? You'll want to hear the answer. Plus, Jerry Seinfeld has kept his humor through the pandemic. He may help you keep yours too tomorrow on 60 Minutes on CBS. For the second time, we have a Aggie player who's down, and this time at least we're not going to need the cart. Eric Young, though, the nickel, went up to try to get Forrestal and got tangled up with the tight end.
Yep, got his left arm caught. As Forrestal tried to cradle that arm, he caught his left arm in there.
Check in with Jamie.
The trainers had to fight to keep Young still there. His left arm is pretty shaky. They tried to stabilize it, but they're just going to hold it tight to his body. But he looked very shaken up and in pain on the ground.
And on his way to the Aggie locker room, something we've seen twice here in the first quarter. Meanwhile, Alabama with a first down at the 13-yard line. Forrestal, who just caught that ball, settles in after being in motion. Here's throw out in the flat to Jalen Waddle. Broke one tackle, won't get away from the second as he got it to the 10, maybe the 9.
Those short passes with those type of athletes out on the wide field put so much pressure on you. You got to rally to it. And you're a defensive back. You have to assume the first guy's going to miss. So you have to rally there and help on every play.
Yeah, they did. Got all the white jerseys around there. Second down at 6. And Waddle in the backfield now from the 9-yard line. Najee Harris said, where am I supposed to go? Back, put the brakes on him. Now they'll move Waddle, and they'll flip it to him out in the flats. And he broke a tackle, got out to the 6. Devontae Smith got a pretty good block out there to try to spring his fellow wide receiver.
So you can see how it looks a little different. Without Tua back there with the RPO offense and the slants, Steve Sarkisian is trying to do more misdirection, play action passes. It seems like Najee Harris is more involved in the deception of the offense and getting the handoff. So play to your strengths. Offensive line, quarterback who likes play action pass, and Najee Harris.
All of his touchdowns rushing have been in the red zone. They're in there right now. He'll take another one looking for number 24, and he's in. Touchdown, Najee Harris.
Well, last time it was a long pass. This time it's a short run, but Najee Harris is a touchdown machine. He's big, obviously, and powerful, but he's also so nimble with the football. Reads this, bounces out, and then accelerates in. Last year he had 13 rushing touchdowns and 7 receiving touchdowns, 20 touchdowns as a running back.
And the extra point up and good. So again, a long pass play. Mac Jones to John Mechie. Got him going. And then they go to Mr. Dependable, number 22, with his 4th touchdown of the season for the Tide. And Alabama leads 14-0. Alabama with a kickoff and a 2-touchdown lead. The Aggies will work from the 25 on the fair catch. Najee Harris, we kind of kidded around, is going the wrong direction on one play.
I think he thought he was getting the screen. No, Mac, no. That's number 17.
Yeah.
That's going to get the ball. We'll give it to you down here near the goal line. So he's going emotional. Wow, I'm getting a slip screen here. No, you're not. Get back.
No, Waddle is, but you get the rest of it from 6 yards out. To cap a 66-yard, 7-play drive. A little over 3 minutes to take a 2-touchdown lead.
A&M already in the danger point of this football game. If they want to be relevant in this game, they got to put together a drive.
Spiller in motion out of the Aggie backfield. Kellen Mond, quarterback draw, and holds on to it. They were trying to rip it out of there.
It has been for A&M big things, but also little things in this game. They've already had a delay of game penalty, illegal motion, 12 men on the field, a missed field goal. They fell down when the receiver was out there. They've just made a lot of little mistakes in this game. On top of the fact, there have been some big plays against them.
And that's after a 55-yard drive, 11 plays on their opening march, and everything was going right for a while. Mott got 4, 2nd down and 6. Spiller across the 30 to the 32. It'll bring up 3rd down at about 3.
You know what? I think the importance of this A&M game against Alabama earlier, way it is. Okay, they would like to have played them later when they're more seasoned. Okay, you got them now. But also remember, after this game, they got Florida. I mean, they've got to come out of this game believing in themselves that they've got a good football team, or they could come out of here and say, listen, we didn't play well against Vandy. We got crushed by Alabama. They got to stay in this game.
Haven't converted on 3rd down. This is 3rd and 3. Mond. Kind of a jump pass.
Yeah, that's going to be interference, isn't it? Didn't he?
Finally a flag as Weidermeyer's the intended receiver. That's Daniel Wright.
Yeah, I think Daniel Wright had his left arm on his back on that play. I don't even know if it was catchable, to tell you the truth.
Holding. Defense, number 3. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic 1st down.
Which is important. By calling it holding, it doesn't matter if the ball was catchable. It was hold before the throw.
You see a little jump pass by Mond.
And the grab right from behind on Weidermeyer. Man, that wasn't too bad, was it? It looked worse up here.
At any rate, keeps the Aggies offense out there.
When you put your arm there, that referee from behind sees it. He's not quite sure, and he calls it.
1st down to the 42. And it's a keeper for Kellen Mond. Alabama guys that they welcome back after being injured a year ago, and there is some talent right there.
Yeah, and remember a year ago when Christian Harris and Shane Lee, 2 true freshmen, were inside linebackers making all the calls in the SEC, modern day football, and now DJ Dale is back, LeBrian Ray is back, Dylan Moses back. You get those guys, veteran guys, good football players, really makes this football team into a championship defense. Got to be better than last year.
Smith's got the 1st down run. Tough run. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's lightning quick. Got it to the 47.
Yeah, he was a receiver, wide receiver a year ago. He's moved back into the backfield more, one of those backs like a Clyde Edwards-Helaire that kind of stresses the defense all over the field. In fact, talking to the Alabama coaches, they say we don't know if he's going to be a wide receiver or a running back on every snap.
Well, it was his first career start against Alabama last year, and he caught 2 passes. There he got the 1st down at the 47, so back in Alabama territory for the Aggies. Mond, quick throw, got it out in space to the aforementioned Anaya Smith, and he's still running, but he stepped out of bounds, but he did get the 1st down.
I don't know if he did step out of bounds.
Well, maybe he didn't.
I don't think he did.
The team's going down to celebrate. I thought he stepped out.
I don't think so. I think Alabama thought he did, but I don't think the official called him out. The sideline official never called him out of bounds. Now, replay might, but the official didn't. Left foot.
Not out there.
Right foot, tiptoe.
Oh, my goodness.
And he stays
gotta be kidding me.
How about that?
Well, I'd like to have that play back, but good job, Anais.
Well, it looked like his momentum and the shove would force him out. But finally, we talked about the little things A&M hasn't been doing, and we talked about how they were going to use Anaya Smith. That seemed to me like a busted coverage.
The touchdown is under video review.
And then a missed tackle on the play. Does not force him out.
Daniel Wright kind of whiffed over there, and I thought he was out, and I gave up on it. Take it back, Anias.
Did not get enough of him. And look at that athletic ability to stay.
That's amazing.
Bounds.
That's amazing. Wow.
So there it is. Stay relevant in this game.
And stay in bounds.
You bet. That's how you do it. But that was a bust by this Alabama defense. I'll tell you that right now. You don't let a running back come out 10 yards in space, nobody near him.
Yeah, we talked about trying to get Spiller and Smith in space, and you can't have any more space than that.
After video review, the ruling is confirmed. Touchdown.
Talk about getting back in the ball game in impressive fashion. Anaya Smith. There's Daniel Wright, who shoved him and thought, well, I got him. And didn't get it.
Yeah, that's one of those. In the game tapes, the coaching staff is going to go, Daniel, don't shove him. Grab him. Use your arms and tackle him.
Seth Small, who missed a field goal earlier, does not miss the extra points. So the Aggies were in desperate need of staying in the game, as Gary said, and they stay in it in fashion, courtesy of number 0. 14-7. $75-yard drive in 5 plays. They picked up a first down, then they got one by penalty on the holding call, and then it was Anaya Smith doing the rest from 47 yards out.
And again, moving Anaya Smith all over the formation confused Alabama, left him wide open, and they get a touchdown.
Here's the kickoff, and this one's blasted all the way almost to the stands. And Alabama will bring it out to the 25-yard line as we send it for a Papa John's update to the man, Zook in New York.
Oh, come on, Ness, you're the man. Got a big play from the big one in the American. Former Longhorn Shane Buechele finds Reggie Robertson, who's got afterburners. 70 yards for an SMU touchdown and a 17-3 lead. Memphis won this last year 54-48, so just hold on tight.
Yeah, we got a ways to go. We do here too. 14-7. Been some big plays by both teams. Big pass plays from Mac Jones to John Mechie, and a touchdown by Najee Harris, who Mac looked at, and now a crossing route. He's got Devontae Smith, and he's got a first down, and he's tiptoeing down the sideline. Let's see what they put him out of bounds.
I'll tell you what the coaches upstairs will show later. Watch this wheel route, how it breaks open. No one on it. Touchdown type play. That will come back later in this game. Running back with a bunch formation going on the wheel route.
So a 20-yard pickup to Devontae Smith. Now Brian Robinson checks in the pistol set behind Mac Jones for the first time to the Alabama backfield. They fake it to him. Jones comes up firing. What a catch by Waddle. And he's out of bounds at the 32, and again, the throw is right on the money.
You know, we saw Mac Jones when he got his start. He was a little shaky at first against Auburn. Remember, he had that unfortunate turnover. One was maybe his fault, the other one wasn't. Look how different he looks now. Like he's in charge. I know what I'm doing. I can make every throw. The coaches believe in me. I know I got a 5-star guy behind me, but he better get ready because I'm pretty good.
7 out of 7 is pretty good.
Yeah.
I would say he's almost perfect, and then you tease me about that.
And Joe Burrow perfect, right?
On a play fake, wanted to throw in the middle. He's going to throw this one away. I think it was supposed to be a middle screen, maybe. Going back to what you said about confidence, we talked to Jalen Waddle yesterday, and we said, what's the difference between Mac this year and Mac last year? And he said, he is confident, man. He thinks he can make every throw. And so far, until that last one, and he threw that away, he has.
You know, he kind of reminds me in his style of play and the way he's going to grow into this position of Kyle Trask of Florida. Waited his turn, and when he was ready, it was like, you know, he knew he was pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, put him in a game, he's really good.
2nd and 10. On the ground. Robinson, and he's wrapped up at the line of scrimmage to bring the first quarter to a close. Good football game going on at Tuscaloosa. Alabama jumped to a 14-0 lead, but A&M has answered. That's the end of the first quarter. Score 14-7 Crimson Tide. We'll return to Tuscaloosa after this message and a word from your local station. Back at Bryant-Denny Stadium to start the second quarter in Tuscaloosa with the Tide in front 14-7 and a third down and long and almost a jump, no flag.
Alabama should have moved and got the free 5 yards. They were too nice there. You're supposed to come out of your stance and get the declared penalty.
Mac Jones had that one batted in the air. It's intercepted by A&M, and this might be a pick six. All the way down to the 15-yard line.
Najee Harris saved a touchdown. So remember, it could have been offsides. A&M's in the neutral zone. Alabama does not react. And then all of a sudden, batted down, intercepted, and Ness said, and I thought he might go all the way, but right side of your screen, Najee Harris runs him down to save a touchdown.
The Marvin Leal, and a huge play by the Aggies to have an opportunity here to tie the game. I'm guessing that he has not run that far in a long time. First mistake, basically, of the ball game, and it's a big one.
And it was a forced mistake. It wasn't just a self-inflicted wound. You got to give A&M credit on that one.
So they set up shop in the Alabama red zone at the 17-yard line. Empty backfield. Kellen Moore looks right, goes over the middle. Touchdown, Aggies.
How nice was that? What a great design play.
Ryan Reddick, the tight end, for the touchdown.
They faked the wide receiver screen. Give that one to that coaching staff for A&M. It was looking bleak. They're down 14-0. All of a sudden, a third down pass, a turnover, and look at the score. Keep playing. Last year, I thought they fought hard when they were way down, and this well-designed play and perfect throw gets this game all tied.
Tied it is. A one-play drive, but it was all set up by the interception. So everything was going right for Alabama. And now they look at the scoreboard and we're even. (14-14), just like that, Gary. Let's go back to the last couple of plays.
Well, first the batted down play. Remember, after Alabama could have declared an offside neutral zone play, come back. You'd think Najee Harris has a touchdown saving tackle, but on first down, Ryan Reddick in the tight end position actually gets delayed from getting in the secondary, and it helps design the play. He gets bumped at the line of scrimmage, and that actually helps in the design of the play. Beautiful play.
Well, just a few seconds into the second quarter, a dramatic change in how this game was going. And now Mac Jones has got to get that out of his mind and go back to work at the 25-yard line. 14 straight points in a hurry by Texas A&M. From the 25. Three wideouts. Najee Harris in the backfield. That's Devontae Smith in motion. Najee, little delayed handoff. Harris only got about three.
One time, Ness, unintended consequences. Watch LeBrian Ray here, number 18, take on the tight end Reddick. Knocks him out of the play, and Alabama ends up turning him loose because they don't see him. Somebody does their job. LeBrian Ray hits the tight end, but that says Alabama, he's not going out, and they turn him loose to create the open play.
7 down and 7. Najee Harris straight into the middle of the pack, fighting his way. Going to be like 2 yards shy of first down. Michael Clemens made the stop.
That's so interesting. You know, a year ago, two plays like that, two receivers wide open against the Alabama defense, you'd go, oh, those young inside linebackers, you know. But Now, come this year, same thing. 2 wide open receivers on the play for touchdowns.
Alabama 3 out of 4 on the third down conversions. They've got a third down and almost 2 here. Jones rolls left, wanted to throw that way, has to off his back foot, incomplete. And they're going to have to punt.
The short pass was taken away that time. Rolled out to the left. He wanted to throw short to Deontay Smith, number 6, to the outside. Taken away, nowhere to go, and then the pass rush forces him to throw it away.
And he took a shot, too, from Clemens after he let go of the football. So, first punt of the ball game for Alabama. Sam Johnson, a freshman. And Aniyah Smith, that's a different number. If you say, wait a minute, he's 0. He's number 19 with a different jersey as a punt return man. And that ball almost got blocked. Smith takes it at the 27-yard line.
And one of the reasons he's doing that is because Miles Jones, another defender for A&M, also has number 0. So you can't have
there they
both
are together
on the field.
Want to stay up to date? Just tell Siri, show me college football rankings.
14-14 as Texas A&M scored 2 touchdowns in the minute 23 seconds. We were talking about Aniyah Smith wearing different jerseys on punt return. That's how I felt after quarantine for the first time, putting normal clothes on after wearing nothing but sweats for months.
It's like my kids bought me a birthday present and bought the normal large. It doesn't fit anymore, right? Exactly.
13-19 go first half.
How about A&M, though? One play into the second quarter, they've already got 150 yards of total offense. The offense is working.
And that's Isaiah Spiller, and he got it to about the 28-yard line. Welcome back to the booth. You know, about 5 minutes of game time ago, we looked at each other and went, uh-oh.
I know.
It's 14-0, and all of a sudden A&M.
A&M fans did, too, and you couple it with the Vanderbilt game, and that's how you measure everything. It's not whether you won one game. You as a team and the fans go, wait a second, is this good enough to win the next game?
Right.
That's how it always works. But they're running the ball better, and even more important, it's not just Kellen Mond running the ball. They're gaining just enough yards in the running game, almost 50 yards already in just over a quarter running the ball.
Got a 2 tight end set in there right now from the 29-yard line. They give it to Spiller, and Spiller got a couple. Christian Harris tracked him down. Bring up third down. So the first possession was a good one, 55-yard drive, but a missed field goal, then a punt, and that's when things look gloomy. But the last 6 plays have produced 14 points. Third down. Mond lofts one, nobody home. I guess it was intended for Cam Brown.
Yeah, and I think that's that misdirection right now. Communication between your receivers. They just don't have a lot of plays together. Kellen Mond thought Cam Brown was going to go outside to the sideline, and Brown took it behind the defender. But that's better than a sack.
Sure.
I mean, I'd rather see Kellen Mond in Alabama, against Alabama's defense, be a 55% completion guy with no sacks than a 65% completion guy with 4 or 5 sacks. That's when the blood starts to get into the water for Alabama, with those sacks kind of piling up.
You look behind Constantino, who will punt to Jalen Waddle, or maybe try to keep it away from Jalen Waddle. High kick, and it'll force a fair catch. So he's done a nice job in that regard today to keep number 17 from being able to catch one on the fly. But Alabama's got it back with 11:41 to go in the first half. Tied, and Aggies are tied in Tuscaloosa.
Just under 12 to play in the first half, tied at 14 between Texas A&M and Alabama. It'll be interesting to see how Mac Jones responds to that interception. As Nick Saban told us, he is working on his quarterback to make sure he always looks forward. He's a very cerebral guy. Mac told me part of his training this summer was incorporating a Navy SEAL tactic. He worked with his best friend, Jack Lundgren, who previously played for Navy. Now he's working to be a Navy SEAL. They did some backyard drills, obviously, and he wishes some of those passes went a little better than most. But part of it also was the mental approach to the game and a breathing tactic to always make sure he comes back to the present.
On play action, he breathes and fires a dart to Jalen Waddle out to midfield and a first down.
The play action pass has been featured as what Mac Jones likes to do the best, and you can see it right there. He felt that pressure on the backside, rode up into the pocket, but that means they're right up in the pocket. The guys up front are doing their job. What's not happening for Alabama, the ability to run the ball. Only 24 yards rushing so far.
Jones throws again, complete. Devontae Smith. Then Smith still on the move. Devontae Smith tripped up as he got inside the 30-yard line. Devin Morris got him, or he might have been off to the races.
I was just going to say, Devontae Smith, besides the one catch, has been a little quiet. But look at that route running. Comes back down the stem exactly the way he came out. Can't cover that.
A little bit of hurry up here. Najee Harris, maybe his best run, got 7. So Alabama's got something working, and they're not taking their time at all.
That's the second time after a big play on second down they came back. Last time they caught him with 12 men on the field, A&M.
Steve Sarkisian on some tempo here, and the handoff is to Najee. Broke one tackle, fights his way to the 20, but he's a yard shy of the first. It's going to be third down and short. Buddy Johnson hanging on for dear life on number 22.
Yeah, I haven't heard a lot of Buddy Johnson, but it's not been a running game.
And
he's
again,
that middle linebacker that has to stop it.
It's Mac Jones with a quarterback sneak, and he's got it inside the 19, almost the 18-yard line. So Alabama back in the red zone.
Wholesale change for that front four for A&M. Brought in all fresh guys.
The guys that are going out kind of slowly. They're a little bit gassed.
That means a good change on the run, right?
That's
it's
right.
Like a hockey change there.
Alabama was 5 out of 6 in their opening win over Missouri last week in the red zone. 4 of those touchdowns. They're at the 18. Mac Jones flares it on a wheel route to Najee Harris, who's got it at the 2-yard line.
Well, we knew the wheel route was coming. It's not exactly the same formation, but the value of Najee Harris is he's one of the big men that can, yes, it's the exact same formation. 2 short receivers with the wheel route, covered well, giving A&M credit, but better execution by Alabama.
Remember, we told you earlier on a drive, Najee Harris has now 24 touchdowns in the red zone. It's 1st and goal, Alabama at the 2. Najee, the tailback in an eye. He gets the carry, cuts back and gets the touchdown. Najee Harris, 2nd score of the day. And the Tide back in front.
A lot of strength over there running behind that big tackle. Evan Neal over to the right side. Got a stacked big tight end in there. Latu, number 81. And then Najee Harris just reads the flow and cuts behind it.
Seven plays and 66 yards.
Started out with the play action passes, and then it was the Najee Harris show.
And the extra point is up by Reichert and good.
I'll tell you, that wheel route, that was well covered, and he just goes up and gets it.
Well, he did it both ways as a receiver and a runner. First, the route Gary was talking about, a really nice catch. And then for the 25th time in his Alabama career, a rushing touchdown in the red zone. Bama back in front. Najee Harris has 5 touchdowns in 86 minutes of football so far in this early season. Will Reichard's kick, and again fair catch taken, and the Aggies will come out to the 25-yard line. Wednesday on CBS, Stephen Colbert goes live after the first and only vice presidential debate, plus Mayor Pete Buttigieg live Wednesday on CBS. Hopefully the vice presidential debate will go better than the presidential one did out of the blocks. It's kind of hard to watch. At the 25, let's see if the Aggies have an answer. They have so far. We're down by 14. Came back to even it up. And then the Tide on a good-looking hurry-up drive have regained the lead. Kellen Mond, pocket starting to collapse, and he throws late and incomplete, intended for Smith.
So this A&M offense has been good. I mean, they're putting a lot of yards up, have scored big plays. Their only problem so far in this game is third down. They're 0 for 3 on third down in the football game. So now 2nd and long, they've got to put it in a position where that they can pick up that third down conversion. So what do they do here on 2nd down? Big call here now for Jimbo Fisher.
Like Mike Leach told us last week, don't get to third down. That's the easiest way to stay on the trunk.
That's a good strategy, but they did well on third down last week. I got to say that.
They sure did.
Mississippi State did. Yeah, he's winning a quarterback run. Something to get yourself in position.
You got about 3, but Dylan Moses stayed home to make the stop.
Yes, and Dylan Moses has seen about as many quarterback zone reads as you can see in college football.
There's a quarterback comparison, 50% for Mond.
And I don't mind that, you know, because you got to throw some away. He's just been avoiding the sacks. No sacks. Remember, last 2 years he's had 12 of them from this Alabama defense.
3rd down and 7.
Looks like a fireman rush, doesn't it? Going to crisscross those inside linebackers.
Sneaking up there. Here they come. Mond, they pick it up, and he throws a strike over the middle. 1st down to Weidermeyer.
And you said the most important thing. They pick it up. It's that blitz that Alabama loves. They love to cross those linebackers and confuse the offensive line. But that veteran offensive line, Hocker, Bankhead, and Green, pick up that blitz inside. How many times do you think they rep that this week? For Alabama. You know you're going to see it. Good job of managing this offense by Jimbo Fisher. Pick up enough on 2nd down to get their first conversion.
There's a play fake. Mond getting heat from the backside. Throws on the run. A wobbler incomplete.
Those are all wins to me.
Yep.
Okay? Instead of having 2nd and 17 yards, it's 2nd and 10. You know what else struck me in warm-ups? How much bigger Kellen Mond is.
He's put together, isn't he?
Holy cow. You know, we've seen him play a few years now. He looks from here, you know, he's approaching like Cam Newton's size, you know, 6'3", 225-ish. I mean, he looks like a man out there.
And he is in the ranks of the best to ever play quarterback at A&M. You see his numbers entering today. 2nd down and 10 for him at the 38. In trouble, throws late, and did complete it. Picked up a couple yards to Chase Lane.
Lays flag, and Christopher Allen, number 4, said, I got held. Let's see if he's correct.
Jason Autry will let us know once he gets the right number. And there it is.
Holding. Offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Number 4 right there against 65. He says I got held, and inside he probably had a hold of that jersey that was seen by that back judge.
Dan Moore, the big left tackle, the guilty party. So now you can't get too greedy on 2nd down and 20. Get part of it back and make 3rd down manageable. 4th penalty against the Aggies. Look a little confused with the formation. Weidermeyer is running back and forth from one side to the other.
And one of the reasons is Weidermeyer, there was only 10 men on the field, and Weidermeyer came out as number 11 and goes, okay, I'm out here, but I don't know what I'm doing.
And so they take a timeout. With 7:08 to go in the half. Their 2nd timeout taken by the Aggies, trying to get things straightened out offensively.
Adam Zucker in New York coming up on the Geico Halftime Report. BJ, Rick, and I get you caught up on today's action, including another top 10 team going down. Keontae Ingram for the 9th-ranked Longhorns fumbles at the goal line, down 4. TCU wins as we go back to Ness, Gary, and Jamie.
Alabama by a touchdown with a little over 7 to go in the 2nd quarter. Time now to test your knowledge with our Aflac trivia question. Who are the 2 Texas A&M head coaches to defeat Alabama over the years. Let you stew on that one. I think I got it. Meanwhile, after the timeout, one timeout remaining for the Aggies, and they face second down at 20.
You know, what do you do if you're Jimbo Fisher here? Would draw a screen? Would it get you enough? Or you'd have to throw the ball downfield? Interesting call here, second and long.
All three receivers to the left, but they bring one back in motion. They throw short to the 35, complete to Chase Lane. And that's third down and a mile.
Interesting. Chase Lane and Cam Brown are both freshmen, but they both lettered. So try to figure that out.
They played a little bit and then they redshirted.
And let me tell you this, they've got 5 years of eligibility left. So they got a letter.
Yeah.
They played, so that means they played less than 4 games last year. This year doesn't count, so they got 4 more years.
You could be around College Station forever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Be here longer than Brady Coyle was for Alabama. Remember, it was like, I used to watch him like, he's still Brody Coyle. Brody Coyle's still there?
That's the last time out. 30 seconds here. Aggies out of timeouts. Third and long coming up. Coming up, Adam, BJ, and Rick will have the Geico halftime report, first half analysis and highlights. I don't know how many times more Zook's going to show PJ that TCU Texas score, but I'm sure it'll be one of them. Meanwhile, Aggies Jimbo Fisher not real happy because he's had to take 2 timeouts on this, what would be a drive, but it's really not a drive.
It'll only be worth it if they can get a first down.
Exactly. And they're a long ways from it. They've got to get all the way to the 48-yard line.
Can Bama put some pressure on this quarterback without blitzing?
They're going to come with the 3-man rush. And the throw is intercepted. Picked off down the sideline. Touchdown, Alabama, Daniel White. Throw was just a little bit short. Daniel Wright takes it for a pick 6.
So Daniel Wright really did a great job here. When you watch the replay, he takes a step to the middle of the field. I think Kellen Mond sees that and says, oh, I got my out to the outside. And obviously, he did not.
Daniel Wright, who made his first start for Alabama in the season opener, and led the team in tackles with 11. But a much bigger play right here, and he's got the defensive heavyweight championship belt after this interception.
Watch what he does. Watch him go to the middle, then turn out, and he's got this the whole way. He's got the leverage. The ball is thrown kind of off his back foot. No juice on it, and he's able to cut it off.
Can't play it any better than that, and the pick 6 gives the Tide again a 2-touchdown lead.
I don't think it was thrown late. It just didn't have any steam on it. And as you said, it was inside by maybe 2 yards. And that's when you pay for it dearly. Believe me, I've done it.
So that drive never had anything going right. A penalty, a holding call. Got themselves in 3rd and long, and there's the belt for Daniel Wright on the interception. Now, the big question is, with no timeouts and 6:19 to go, if the Aggies can get an answer, any kind of points before halftime would help, because they find themselves down 2 scores for the second time in the game.
So one more thing to say here. Will Anderson puts a little pressure. Kellen Mond can feel this. Never steps into the throw. See, his left foot just kind of stalls right there. Had nothing behind the throw. Number 31, Will Anderson, the true freshman rush specialist. We said, can they put pressure on the quarterback without a blitz? That's pressure.
Just enough.
Yep, just enough.
Now let's see if that's in the mind of Kellen Mond. It always is.
Yeah, can A&M kind of save this game again? Remember this game again. Remember they were down 14-0 before. Very dangerous part of the game.
Spiller cuts it outside and now back in out to the 32-yard line.
This is where Alabama can put you away. Okay, you got a 14-point game. You get a stop here, and you get the ball back at the end of the half. And remember, you get it to start the second half, and all of a sudden, a game that was close ends up being a rout.
So many teams that are really good score in the last 2 to 4 minutes of the half. And Nick Saban's team has done it a bunch.
Very similar to basketball, finishing the quarters in the NBA or the halves. You know, a lot of coaches talk about that.
And they're playing safe here, only a 1-yard gain.
Yeah.
Byron Young made a stop.
I get what you're saying, safe, but nowadays, you know, I mean, the way they've gotten that rush going a little bit, I think they were trying to get it to third and very short. Good run defense that time by Alabama.
Well, they got it to third and short. Let's see if they can pick up 2. Nia Smith back in the backfield with Mond. Need to get to the 35, so it's a long 2. The option to Smith. Got to the edge, got the first down, bumped out at the 43.
So 2 big calls. Jimbo went with the quarterback, basically. Remember that second down play where he ran Kellen Mond to get it into third and medium? And here he knows he's got to have a first down. Got to come up with the play, and he's willing to do the option play with his quarterback to get the ball on the edge. Got to get out of the half. You'd love points, obviously, but you got to get out of the half.
Nia Smith had gone all the way to the sideline, and now comes back in. Spiller goes out.
And if I was Alabama, I'd cover him because he's in there for a reason, right?
Yep.
Comes out of the backfield.
He's in motion to the bottom of the screen at first down. Mond's going to go the other way. Quick slant. That was almost picked off by Surtain.
Yeah, I get the feeling now Patrick Surtain has looked at these receivers and go, I can handle these guys. I've covered guys in practice. In fact, my roommate, number 17, I cover him all the time.
That was so funny. We were doing our Zoom meetings with Jalen Waddle and Patrick Surtain yesterday, and Jalen started laughing, and we go, what's so funny? Jamie says, what's so funny? He says, actually, we're roommates, and he says he's in the other room, and we're both talking, and we can hear each other.
Modern technology. We're on a Zoom, and they're talking to each other.
Second down and 10. Here comes pressure. Quick throw out to Smith. Got it in the flat and down the sideline, and I'm not going to count him out until he goes out.
He's out of bounds. That's right. Good job of recognition that time by the Kellen Mond. It was overmatched that time, a free blitzer. He went to his hot. If you're good at handling the blitz, you can take them right out of the blitz. When they come at you with that extra rusher, you make them pay. You take them out of that blitz package.
Equal touches today for Spiller and Smith, but a lot more productivity out of Smith.
Yes,
courtesy of that long touchdown.
And targets. You're throwing the ball at Smith, number 0. Is that a number?
It's a number, new number this year. We keep saying number 0. Cam Brown in motion as Mond is going to flip it out there. He's wide open if he can get a block. And whoa, did he get deposited in the back end by Battle. Jordan Battle.
That's fun. You play defense. You got to do all those, jet sweeps of safety. You're calling a guy here and there, and all of a sudden, boom, make one of those tackles. That's a Xavier McKinney special right there, right?
Well, that's who he played behind last year when he was in the dime package, and he looked a lot like it. Still, nice gain of 9.
This is the drive A&M needed, though. Keep the ball, keep the clock, get into scoring range.
Oh, a loss. That's what you didn't want right there. Byron Young, big loss. And now it's third down, and it was going to be, it looked easy. They backed up 2 yards.
I tell you what I like about this Alabama defensive front, the more I watch it here, their depth. They've got, 8 guys they're rotating through right now. Young is not one of their first-line guys, but he and Barmore are in right now, and that kind of reminds you back of that 2016 Alabama defense where they just kept rotating guys up front in that defensive line.
This is a huge third down because this is not exactly field goal range.
Yeah, and you wonder as you call this, is it 4-down territory or do you
Maybe got a yard of it back, if that.
Now what do? You go for it here? 2 minutes to go.
Got one of your big eaters slow to get up, and that's a center, Ryan McCullough.
I think you got to give the message to the team that you believe in them and go for it here. You know, you can't punt, right?
No.
Down 14 points, you just can't. You just say, listen, we're going for it. Defense, buckle up. You got to stop them if we don't make it.
Not only go for it, but let's hurry up, as Jimbo is saying.
Yep, no timeouts, remember.
4th and 2. Using a lot of time to get the snap. Kellen Mond, pressure coming, throws across the middle. Should have been a first down to Smith, and he dropped it.
Drop ball for a first down. That's just like a turnover. You're going to keep that ball. You're going to run out the half, and you're probably going to put points on the board.
This is your wide receiver from a year ago, turned running back / receiver, and he just forgot to take the ball.
Yeah, and that's one of those that doesn't show up as a turnover, but that's a turnover. You're giving the ball back to the other side. You drop a ball on 4th down, that's how it feels.
Remember when I said teams that score in the final couple of minutes of a half, sometimes that is the big difference. Well, they've got 3 timeouts, Alabama does.
No doubt. Now Smith there said, I got this ball in space, and I'm going to score again, and he forgot the football.
See what Alabama does. Steve Sarkisian is going to try to go out. Najee Harris going the other way. Very close, if not a first down. Remember, they threw that a route similar to that.
Yeah, this is
near side.
This one was more of a pick route designed right there all the way to get kind of a drive starter play.
Yeah.
You know, come in with that short wide receiver to the short side of the field. He picks the linebacker, and you just get the drive started right to the outside for a first down.
Look out for the guys down at the bottom of the screen, though. Waddle and Smith. First down. Mac Jones rolls that way. He's going to throw to Forrestal on a crossing route, and the tight end has another first down. And let's quickly answer our Aflac trivia question. We asked you earlier who the 2 Texas A&M coaches that have defeated an Alabama team. Gene Stallings, way back in the Cotton Bowl against his old boss, Bear Bryant, who's lifting him up in that picture, and then Kevin Sumlin in the Manziel Miracle of 2012. 1st and 10 at the 43. Mac Jones throws, wanted to go an out back shoulder over to Devontae Smith, nowhere near completion with 1:04 to go, and still 3 timeouts remaining.
Well, and if this drive continues, I mean, Alabama's going to put 300 yards of total offense in the first half.
The biggest plays were to John Mechie, who's not even one of the big 2 as we had in the beginning, but we knew he'd add his name to the list, and he has, and they've got 247 passing yards. Najee Harris in motion all the way across the field. Jones comes back short to Waddle on the other side. Tiptoes out of bounds with a first down. Knew what he had to get. Got out of bounds to stop the clock with 59 seconds.
And again, when you talk to Mike Elko, the defensive coordinator for A&M, we talked about the stars, their receivers, their running backs, the quarterback, and he goes, guys, I got to tell you, that offensive line is as good as I've seen in Alabama. And they again gave him pressure. A couple pressures early, and then one series where they were pressuring, but since then it's kind of settled down. The offensive line has gained control over the line of scrimmage. Will Elko have to blitz here to try to put pressure on the quarterback?
Jones the give to Najee Harris, following his blockers for about 4, and we might see Alabama's first time out here.
And you're rewarded for being a disciplined offense. You're rewarded for having your 3 timeouts.
Najee Harris has been, well, Najee Harris in this game. A little bit of everything. This touchdown from 6 yards away. The wheel route with a nice catch down close. And then he said, why don't you just give it to me again, Matt? Second rushing touchdown.
So a lot of people, you know, the running backs, they try to feature 2, don't use them too much. you know, you look down there, you're using him too much, and then he'd go, you'd like to talk to Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
We used him a lot, and it worked out very well for him, and it's still working.
And the Titans are using him a lot, too.
Exactly.
And he just got a lot of money.
Yes. So if you think we're using you a lot, you'd like to talk to Derrick.
So after the quick timeout, second down. Get to the 22 for a first down. They're thinking end zone more than anything else. Jones got it, got wide open. And it's Mechie again. Didn't get the first down, though.
I really thought he had Waddle on that one right to the corner of the end zone. You know, no deep safety to that side. I thought he could have gone. He had Waddle on the safety on the play. When you get a wide receiver like Waddle on a safety, you got to throw him the ball right to the outside. Nobody out there, so you could have just put it right at that cone. I mean, that play worked. The other play worked. Not saying that, but you know, that's one of those you go, whoa! I got my guy on a safety. I'm going for it. Okay. Remember when we saw the wheel again? We'll see that one again. I'll tell you that.
For sure. So Nick Saban, Steve Sarkisian's got the troops around him there.
So 3rd and 2. You still got a timeout left. You know, you can call anything you want here. You can run the ball, get the first down. The clock will stop. Plenty of time to dial it up again.
Again, Alabama gets the ball to start the third quarter. And will they get points in the final couple of minutes, as we talked about earlier? They got 44 seconds and a timeout left. Got a bunch. Group receiver-wise to the right. Although Devontae Smith's going back in motion to the top. Mac Jones crossing route again. Mechie, Smith. And Smith's got the first down.
So nice design, same play they run all the time. They started with the bunch, then you go in motion, and then the crossing route for the easy first down.
At the 15-yard line. Jones goes to the end zone, overshot Devontae Smith.
Oh, did he grab him? Didn't he? Down right by the goal line?
Keldrick Carper was in coverage.
I thought he grabbed him.
There's a flag.
Don't blame him.
Pass interference, defense, number 14. Foul occurred in the end zone. Ball spotted at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
If you can't cover him, got to grab him. There it happens right there.
Sure did. He got him a couple times. So it's at the 2-yard line.
Boy, how big is that Anaya Smith drop looking right now?
Could turn into a 14-point swing.
Absolutely.
Najee Harris has got 2 today. Mac Jones to the back corner. Touchdown, Alabama. And it's Devontae Smith.
Give a little sugar to everybody in this Alabama offense.
Devontae Smith in the very back. And looked like he got the left foot down. Here's another angle. So acrobatic. Wow. I don't know how these guys do it.
Now remember, because he was going backwards, if that heel would have gone out, it would have been no touchdown. But he actually twisted, and the heel never came down. That's going to count as a touchdown. Remember, when you're going backwards with a catch, it's not just the toe down. The heel has to not go out of bounds. So as he twisted, I never saw it go out of bounds.
I didn't either. We saw some of the acrobatic catches he made last year. What was it, the Ole Miss game?
Yeah.
Then he went for a whole bunch, 200 and something.
Now watch, everybody's looking. Does the heel go down? Because he's going backwards. Toe is.
Gene Steratore is with us.
Toes in.
Toe down, Gene.
Toes down. Gary makes a great point with the heel that I don't believe ever makes contact either. And I think it's well noted if you look at the 2 officials working the play. The back judge who's in the screen in the end line under the goalpost, he's looking at the football because the football's presented to him. There's another official on the opposite side here right of our screen that doesn't have the football showing himself, and he's looking at those feet. So they communicate very quickly there to confirm that.
The ruling in the field stands. Touchdown.
Well done, gentlemen, and well done, Alabama offense. Took it right down. Didn't even have to use their final timeout.
And how efficient is this offense? 5 for 7 on 3rd down, 2 touchdowns.
Will Reichert in for the point after.
Over 300 yards of total offense in the first half against this A&M defense. So if you're a coach, what you'd like your team to do is make the plays that you should make. You don't have to make the spectacular play. Make the normal play. That's just a normal play you expect your guys to make against a team, any team, but especially Alabama. And then you make a chance for Alabama to make the spectacular play.
Mac Jones said, I put it right where I knew Devontae would get that size 10.5 down in the back of the end zone. Well, quite a drive. We talked about it. Final couple minutes, you do that, and then you get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. You can blow a game open.
Yep. You know, Mac Jones, remember when he signed here, Jalen Hurts was here, Tua was coming. Everybody goes, oh, Mac, are you sure, Well, waited his turn. It sure is nice if you get the job to throw to these guys, isn't it?
16 out of 20 for 273 yards and 2 touchdowns. And we're not quite to halftime, but we will be shortly.
He and Kyle Trask have made the move.
Yeah.
Are the guys.
And again, take you back to Devontae Smith. Or Anaya Smith, I should say.
A pair of Smiths, right?
A pair of Smiths.
Anaya Smith. Remember, wow. All right, there we go. We did not see that. We said, our producer in the truck, Craig Silver, said, we got something from you in pregame. We go, what do you got? There he is. He drops a punt, does push-ups. I wonder how many you have to do warm-ups compared to real game.
I don't know. In 20 seconds, he'll head to the locker room and do something there, I guess, because that's where we are headed with Alabama, a 35-point first half. So efficient offensively, tough on defense. Couple of blown assignments accounted for 14 points of Texas A&M. Otherwise, this looks like the #2 team in the country, that's for sure. That's the end of the first half, 35-14, as we head to Adam Zucker and the guys in our New York studios.
All right, Ness, big swing there at the end of the half. And coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, we'll show you another top 10 upset this week and all of today's SEC action after this word from your local station.
Just about set to start the 3rd quarter in Tuscaloosa with the Tide up by 3 touchdowns. And now it's time for a taste of tradition presented by Sonic. Here's Jamie.
Game day here at Alabama is filled with all sorts of traditions, but in the COVID era with some new twists. The pregame Walk of Champions still took place, but in a more subdued manner. The $1 Million Band wasn't able to strut their stuff through the heart of campus, but still gave fans their money's worth from the video board. Houndstooth remains the most fashionable look on game day, and Sweet Home Alabama still inspired the faithful right before kickoff.
And that's the way we started the game, and now we're just about set to start the 3rd quarter as you look in on Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Bryant-Denny Stadium, a renovated Bryant-Denny Stadium. And the first half game trends, Mac Jones was perfect for a while, 7 out of 7 before his first incompletion they threw away on purpose. He did have an interception. Kellen Mond has struggled a little bit, a couple of touchdown passes, but he threw a pick 6. It started the Alabama resurgence, if you will, from being tied to being up by 35-21. And another offensive, non-offensive touchdown in the Saban era, that pick 6 that I was talking about. So things turned around in a hurry from a tie game to a 35-14 game, and Alabama will get the ball to start the 3rd quarter.
I know he was 4 for 10 in the back half, but it was that 10th pass that meant everything. 5 for 10 would have made a big difference in the score of this game.
So A&M to kick off, and the always dangerous Jalen Waddle back deep for Alabama. And they'll let that one go and bring it out to the 25-yard line, and we'll bring you back in the booth. Welcome back, everybody. Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson. You already heard from Jamie. You know, sometimes we say there's a handful of plays that make the difference in the ball game. Right. And so far in that first half, that one play was huge.
Well, it probably takes a 21-point game to 11, at least. Okay, so that turnaround. I think Nick is right, though. You know, looking championship, you measure Alabama by championships. He needs to run the ball a little better, just a little bit better. That's the one area walking off the field that I think Nick Saban's guys in the locker room, guys, we played really good. But the one area I'd like to be better, that run rate.
Let's see if they go to that a little bit to start the third quarter. Now they're going to come up passing, and it's batted down at the line, and it is DeMarvin Leal, who had the interception early, as we check in with Jamie.
How different this game would be if Texas A&M had caught that ball at the end of the first half, and Jimbo knows it. He wasn't down on Kellen Mond, though, in terms of the reads and decisions he made in the passing game. He said we just have to win more plays than them. Defensively, he said Alabama, they're always going to make you play, but he seemed pretty on the up and up about this Texas A&M team.
I hope he's right, as the handoff goes to Najee Harris. And Najee only got a couple, so if the Aggies can force a 3 and out to start the third, I think Mike Elko would take that. Jalen Waddle on the last play, kind of hobbling off. Even when Jalen Waddle is hobbling, he's faster than everybody else.
That's 5 flat, for sure, 40.
They're down and 8. Their down was really good to Mac Jones for the most part in the first half. Punt fake, going deep. Might still be good. Oh, just missed.
It's one of the toughest things for a quarterback to throw is when the stop and go deep ball, the receiver really never hits that top speed like if he just would have been flying down the sideline. Watch, it's a hitch and go on a square in, and you just don't get the receiver getting to that top speed like if he would have just gone from the line of scrimmage. He hit Mechie before, but that time never got him going really as fast as he wanted.
That was a beautiful last shot there, the replays. You saw just a yard, maybe not even a yard over his outstretched arms. The punt. And it's going to go out of bounds on the far side.
Let's go back to the play before Jalen Waddle walking off. He runs the route, stops inside, turns around, looks okay. Just one of those thoroughbred guys. Thoroughbred just feels it just a bit. Maybe I got to get out of there before I really pull that hammy.
Little twinge, it looked like. Only a 26-yard punt, so this was perfect for Texas A&M. They get a 3 and out.
Looked to
short
me like,
punt.
Yeah, looked to me like he was protecting the hamstring coming off, not the pop that.
So good field position for the Aggies. They're on 47. Spiller in motion out of the backfield. Line steps in, waits. Now he's going to take off with it. And does a nice job to pick up about 8 yards. We haven't seen him run a lot. Only a couple times by design. Last year, Kellen Mond would have had 110 yards rushing.
Yes.
Had they not taken away the sack yardage, would have made it 90, but he was still most of the offense.
Neither team has had a sack in this football game.
Seen enough pressure that you think there would have been.
You know, Kellen's probably thrown 3 or 4 away to avoid a sack, and as you mentioned, so did Mac Jones throw a couple away.
On the ground is Spiller. Should have a first down as Dylan Moses. Oh, they're gonna stay a little bit short.
And as Brad was talking about, those yards from the quarterback, they're nice. But if that's all you got, that ain't enough.
That's not so nice.
No, that's not so nice. So I think A&M thought it was called short of a first down, and they were going to go hurry up for a first down. And then they got the mark, so it's 1st and 10.
Yeah, I thought he got the first down, and then
I don't think Jimbo thought they were, because they were going to go hurry up on 4th down quarterback sneak, and now it's like, all right, we don't need to do that. Let's back up and call another play.
So it's a first just inside the 43. Quick throw at the flat to Chase Lane, and Lane got it inside the 40.
This Malachi Moore is a pretty impressive football player. True freshman, playing in the secondary, playing over the slot in their nickel defense. Comes again and makes another clean tackle on the play. And as Brad told you before, you don't play in this defense no matter how talented you are if you don't know what you're doing.
Yep. Back there with Brian Branch.
When are they going
sharing that position?
Challenge Josh Jobe down here? You know, he's the new corner. When are they going to put one on him?
Yeah, that crossing route, I don't know where that one was heading. I guess Chapman, maybe the intended receiver, was kind of in between two guys out there, incomplete.
Let's see if we can tell any better from behind here. Trying to throw it. Was it tipped?
Oh, it was Lane.
Yes.
He threw it right over Lane's head.
Right over number 2's head. Chase Lane, and he said, you got to go on. And you could see, as we talked about before, the quarterback communication with the receivers just isn't there. And I know nobody likes to talk about it. That's why A&M was saying, boy, we liked our old schedule. We could play 4 or 5 games.
This one's complete inside the 25, and going the other way is Weidermeyer. He's got the first down.
Yeah, I think they're going to give him pretty close to the 25-yard line on his forward progress on this play.
Pick up a 15.
Right side of your screen over here is Weidermeyer coming in on the crossing route. Good route for a tight end. One-on-one coverage. Just doesn't turn in. He gives that little stem fake at the top of it.
So first down at the 25.
Hear that terminology? Stem, right on the top of it, like a little stem fake. I was talking to you.
I'm doing stem cell research over here. The 25, but out in the flat, too far in front of Anais Smith, incomplete. You know, the guys Kellen Mond would have had, he would have had Jamon Osmond, who's been his buddy and his roommate since IMG Academy, who's the leading returning receiver, or would have been. And Courtney Davis and Kendrick Rogers left early for the NFL. Cameron Buckley would have been a slot guy. He's out for the year with a knee injury, so he's playing with a whole bunch of new guys.
Yes, now Jimbo says they're very talented players, but they're new young players. He said they're actually maybe a little faster than the other guys, but they're nowhere as big 50-50 matchup players.
Yeah, those guys were tall last year. 2nd and 10.
Right around.
Wow, that was quick. That was quick. Christopher Allen.
Yeah. Christopher Allen's made a couple of big plays, got held on that one play that could have been a sack, coming right off the edge right here. Just explodes. Guard can never get there in time. It was supposed to be Hocker number 73. They were supposed to kick him out, never got there.
There's not a guard in the world that's that fast.
No, that's you know, that's one of the things. Without the crowd on the road here, you wonder if the quarterback couldn't use his snap count a little bit. You know, you see in Aaron Rodgers in the NFL, those guys that keep the defense quiet with the snap count. But all the colleges basically gone to the no silent snap count, so you don't have that advantage.
They're down to 12 across the middle, incomplete. Nice throw. Chase Lane.
And Chase knew he was going to get hit on this play, so he caught it and ducked at the same time. Really nice technique. Square up, turn in, good throw, and duck.
Catch and duck to the 12-yard line.
It's better than chuck and duck.
You're not kidding. Well, this is a good-looking drive. Remember, they forced a 3 and out, short punt, short field, started almost at midfield.
Yeah, back-to-back third down conversions for this team.
They've gone 41 yards in 4 minutes. It's just what the Aggies doctors have ordered, that they can get some points out of this, especially if it's a touchdown. Mon looked right, now he's going to eat it. And so Will Anderson drops him for a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, I think Malachi Moore took that play away. There was nowhere for Kellen Mond to go for it. He wanted to throw the ball quick to the flat to the outside and watch this, take this play away. Nothing there. At least get back to the line of scrimmage is what he did.
If you're not an Alabama fan, you go, who's Will Anderson? Well, he's one of the new batch that's going to be really, really good.
Yes.
Starter is a freshman. Second down, 11. Need to get to the 2-yard line for a first down. 13 yards away from a touchdown. Backpedaling, in trouble. This lofts it to the corner, and Surtain's the closest guy over there.
Look how far back he is. This ball was snapped on the 13-yard line. He's near the 30-yard line when he lets it go. He had to retreat because the pressure was coming. He's trying to buy time. He just keeps backing up to avoid that sack. Mathis had him if he didn't do it. And again,
Boygby would have,
yeah, Boygby would have. I saw 48 first. Believe me, when you're back there, you only see one guy. You never see two guys. The first guy you see, that's enough.
Well, they had success on third down earlier in this drive. They need one here.
Well, Alabama tried to bring that rush up the middle.
Empty backfield.
Yes, they do.
They bring the extra guy. Mine's going the wrong way again. This time, no, is it caught? Wow, Weidermeyer. About a yard shy of the first down.
Again, he had to retreat. It's one of those throws. I think it's going to be short of the first down, though. It looks to me. He has to retreat, throw it, don't do it, don't do it. Yes, he did it.
It's a heck of a catch.
So is it 4th and inches?
That's 4th and yards.
They might want to take a look at this, a replay look at this. Because was he not forced back after the catch?
Ruling of a catch short of the first down is under video review.
Yes, I think they might want to take a look at that. This could be close. Closer.
They look too close. I might be wondering whether he held onto the ball.
You know, I was going to say that. I wanted one more look towards the end zone. Was his forward progress right at the line, or is there enough evidence to look? Let's see if he, even as Brad mentioned, did he finish the catch? 1, 2, goes down with his knee and drops the ball. Yes, he did.
Gene Steratore is with us. Gene, what do you think?
I think he's in the process of making that catch and falling, and he needs to complete that. And after review, I would say they'll overturn this to incomplete as well. This is still an airborne receiver that is possessing with a foot, but in the fall at this point, I don't see a football move, a time element to have a football move. It's a continuous fall, and in that case, I would say he needs to survive the ground.
Yep. I think Brad saw it first, and you finished it off, and I think I agree with that. His knee hits, but as you say, it's not a move. It's going to be Alabama ball.
And I agree that Brad should get the credit for this one, Gary, for sure.
Thanks,
Brad
Gene.
definitely gets the credit for this one, no doubt.
I got the toe, you got the ball.
That's right.
Well, we'll wait for the official call from Jason Autry. Nicky Haddock's replay official.
So the ball should go back to about the 13-yard line. Great play by Kellen Mond. Good try. Defense all over the play. Fight all the way through to the finish. John Battle does a good job of staying with it, fighting to the end, and it ends up paying off.
After video review, the ruling is an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down at the 13-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 9 minutes, 6 seconds.
Ball goes back to the 13-yard line, so obviously A&M will try to kick the field goal here.
Already missed one today. There's another look at the play. Bang, bang, as it goes when you watch it.
So they go to 4th and inches to 4th and field goal.
Yeah. Seth Small missed one badly in the first quarter on the opening drive. They've gone 55 yards in 11 plays.
So A&M fans thinking, should we just not go for it? How often are we going to get down here down 21 points? But I think kicking a field goal, making your team feel good about themselves right now, in the 3rd quarter, I'd kick the field goal.
And Seth Small's got this one from 30, up and good.
That was a good hold on that play. I thought the snap was a little low.
So 30-yard field goal cuts into the lead, 35-17. CBS Sunday Night Movies are back every Sunday in October with Clueless, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Scream, and tomorrow get together for Old School. CBS Sunday Night Movies begin tomorrow on CBS. Aggies cap a march with a field goal and kick away as Waddle is back in there, by the way, even though he's nowhere near thinking about returning that. So they'll bring it out to the 25-yard line. The king in his court, his subjects, his assistant coaches that Nick Saban's had over the years, and right now they are 0-for, as Nick has been 19-0 against his former assistant coaches, including Jimbo Fisher, who's here today. And he's got a kind of a gauntlet of those in October.
It's an October run.
It is. He's got Kirby Smart. He's got Jeremy Pruitt. He's got Jimbo here today. Quick slip screen on the outside is complete out to Devontae Smith.
Well, I mean, sooner or later, one of them's got to get him, because that's all he plays is assistant coaches here in the SEC nowadays.
That's right. Somebody, unless he just keeps going undefeated.
Right. Win.
Here's a call on the flag.
Holding. Offense, number 70. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
And that's big Alex Leatherwood, a All-American. Jamie?
Hey, no news is good news when it comes to Jalen Waddle. Briefly in the medical tent when he limped off in that last series, but trainers paid him no attention during that extended drive for Alabama's defense, and he was out there for the return. So all clear down here.
That's good. We'd prefer to keep it that way for both teams. Devontae Smith in motion up to the top. Matt Jones set the throw on a crossing route, completes it to Devontae, who came right back against the grain, got collared as he got to the 27-yard line.
Another flag on this play. I think it was an illegal formation by Alabama this time. I don't know if they had too many men in the backfield or covered up an eligible receiver with the formation.
Illegal shift. Offense. Players in motion never get set after the reset. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Something you don't see too often. Back-to-back penalties against Alabama. There you see the guys moving.
Getting in position as the player goes in motion. Two players were actually in motion at the same. Even if you stop, you started with two in motion, it's going to be called.
Fourth Alabama penalty, 2 in a row, as Najee Harris takes the handoff.
Let's just remember this. That's one of the circles that Nick Saban has circled about his football team. We have to do better in the penalty department. They were last in the SEC and 121st in the nation in penalties last year.
And they were still 11-2.
That's a good point, because you know who was best in the SEC in penalties last year? Arkansas.
And they weren't 11-2.
No, they weren't. Oakland Raiders. Yeah, go ahead, call them on us. We don't care.
And another flag.
False start. Offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
I'll tell you, if you're a coach, though, and Nick has talked about this in his press conferences, you can live with the penalties during the play if they're not the dumb ones, but the pre-snap penalties are the ones that drag the case.
Especially your center right there.
Yep.
Dickerson, the center, with the false start. He'll now snap it to Matt Jones on a 2nd and 22. Pump fake, deep ball, man there, get him on the fly. Waddle, there's nobody going to catch him. Jalen Waddle, touchdown. Another 78-yard touchdown pass. This time, Jalen Waddle.
They were just backing up so that they could run that square in and go, and this time Mac Jones did not mistime the throw to Waddle, and Jamie's report was right on. I guess he's okay.
Apparently the hamstring's fine.
Yes. Maybe that was just part of the design of the play. I'm going to limp off and then come back on and run the square in and go.
It's actually a 87-yard touchdown pass. I'm going to correct myself there.
Remember we talked about him running that corner on the safety? Well, he got on the safety, but this time it was a squaring and post. You're going to come in here, come in for one step, and then go. That's the design of the play. good protection up front. That offensive line gives them the pocket, room to step up, and touchdown.
They got one hand on the back end of his foot, and that was it. Jalen Waddle. Boy, is Alabama glad he came to Tuscaloosa instead of College Station, huh? 42-17. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Marathon, Sonic, Jeep, and by Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. That is Lake Nickel just outside of Tuscaloosa. I think the Aggies are in a nickel defense. Should have been in a dime on that last Jalen Waddle touchdown.
We talked about the route and the good throw and everything, but it was 2nd and 22. How do you get beat deep on 2nd and 22? You know, last week we saw a new record for passing, over 600 yards in 3.5 quarters. Mac Jones may break it today in 1 week.
He's got 363 and 3 touchdowns right now.
If he stays in the game and has to keep throwing, like Mississippi State had to keep throwing. Jeez.
142 for a touchdown.
We've been doing SEC football for a while. It sure has changed in the last 3 years, hasn't it? I mean, it is a passing league now. The old stop the tailback off tackle is no longer a part of it.
Nor any huddles. Here's a throw out to Watermeyer. Cuts back inside. Nice move by the big fella. And he looks like he might have a first down at the 35.
When we first started doing this, we used to talk about the isolation play. Now we're talking about the isolation pass. Isolate a wide receiver on a safety.
And they moved the sticks as they gave Watermeyer the first. Spiller with Kellen Mond. Now remove the motion man, Jalen Preston. Throws back over the middle. Watermeyer again on the first down as he crosses midfield to the 49 of Alabama.
So 2 sides of this coin right here. Remember a week ago, Alabama got a big lead on Ole Miss and then gave up points, and heard about it from Coach Saban all week about letting down their guard, losing their edge.
Missouri, you mean?
Excuse me, against Missouri. And this week now for Texas A&M, they're starting to play, okay, whether we win this game or not, we have to stay on an upbeat, because we got Florida next week, and we have to win next week at home against Florida. Continue to execute, finish the game, and play good, sound football so we feel good about ourselves going into the Florida game.
Back in Bama territory at the 47. Throws out of the flat to Smith. Smith knocked out at the 44-yard line. And somebody over there slow to get up for Alabama. That is Christian Harris, I think. Harris pressed into action when Dylan Moses and Josh McMillan got hurt last year, and he went on to have a really nice season. He just hit the deck kind of hard over there.
Right.
So he'll sit out of play at least. 2nd down and 6 meanwhile for the Aggies. Mon throws a tight one in there, complete to Chapman. And he's close to a first down. It's Armed Service Saturday on CBS Sports Network today. And the first game of the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy Series is Navy battles Air Force. And earlier today on CBS Sports Network, Army took on Abilene Christian, and they won big, 55-23. And the Air Force Navy game should be kicking off right about now. The 5-minute mark here in the 3rd quarter. 42-17 Alabama.
You know, the game that we were going to do that we didn't end up doing, BYU, that looks like a real football team. I don't know if they play enough schedule, but I don't know who's going to beat them.
They had a really tough schedule and a meaty schedule before everything got changed.
They are rolling up the points on everyone.
Yeah, they are. First down on the 37. By Will Anderson.
That guy's on go. When he just looks at the ball and he's like a trackman. I'm going to get in the backfield and just blow up whatever I see. Just boom around the corner right here. One time it's Christopher Allen on one side, and this time it's Will Anderson.
Defensive coordinator Pete Golding told us yesterday sometimes he doesn't go in the right direction and you go no, and then you go yeah.
He doesn't go in the right direction, but he goes fast in
That's
whatever
right.
direction he goes.
Well, he went in the right direction and he went fast on that play.
Remember, those were two important positions they were replacing from a year ago. Anthony Jennings and Terrell Davis.
Right. Crossing route, Chase Lane, short game. And this kid's really good too. Malachi Moore, the freshman. We've talked about him a lot. It's amazing. We talk about a guy in the secondary. He's a freshman that is a starter. Third down and long. Kellen Mond 19 out of 34 for 219 so far. He'd like to get, oops, going to have to get more than 12 now. Weidermeyer jumped early.
False start. Offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Weidermeyer with 5 catches, but he's just forced a third and longer now for the Aggies. He looks a little bit winded. Weidermeyer, that is. He's had to go from one side to the other. They moved him around a lot.
Part of it because he was hitting himself in the head there. Probably knocked himself out. He was so mad at himself.
Third down and 17. Mond fires across the middle. What a throw. And Chase Lane's got a first down.
I tell you that Kellen Mond, he has a lot of physical tools. You know, I mean, as this team I wonder what this team will look like, you know, after game 5 games, you know, because they've got some talent. Their quarterback is a high-end player. These receivers will get better. They've got a veteran offensive line. If they stay healthy, they will be better the second half of the season.
He got enough smoke on that pass that Jordan Battle even got a piece of it, and still it's a first down inside the Alabama 27. And throws to Weidermeyer again. His forward progress is going to get him down around the 21-yard line, I think.
I mean, you'd like to say that, you know, when you're on the road, your goal is to take the crowd out of it. Well, there's no crowd to take out of it.
Yep.
Everybody just kind of sitting here going, well, okay.
Just a little under 20,000 here.
Right.
Normally it would be 100,077 with the new
And we're just happy to be
configuration.
here.
Yeah, we
We're
are.
just happy to be here.
And we have a new booth too, and it's spectacular. Thank all the donors that paid for our booth.
Yes, we used to be about on the 20-yard line. Now we're right on a 50.
Second down and 5. Mond throws high, incomplete, intended for Smith.
He had a guy right in his face, but Weidermeyer was wide open. No one covered him for a touchdown on the play.
Well, they're trying to get these guys touches, but it's not enough.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty tough defense they're facing, and you have to do everything right against them.
Yeah. So here's another third down. They picked the last one up. That was third down and very long. This is 3rd and 5. Need to get inside the 17-yard line to move the sticks. Whoa! What a one-handed grab that was by Smith, but he's going to lose yardage as a swarming Alabama defense brings him down. Christopher Allen led the way. He was the first guy there.
And this option play from shotgun, what you have to do as a quarterback is get on the inland line of scrimmage. Doesn't get close enough to him, and that allows Allen to stop the quarterback and the running back. He needed to come harder at that inland line of scrimmage, force him to tackle you on the option play, and then that gives you the pitch.
And they're forced to go on 4th down as time is of the essence. We've only got 16 minutes left in the game. So 4th down and 8.
We're going to get the blitz right here unless they check it off now.
If they get the playoff, just did, and here they come. Mond throws incomplete, and Alabama will take over on downs.
From the shotgun, you see it coming. You've got time to deliver it. You know it's coming. just did not get out of the break in time. He's actually, I think, talking to the receiver on the play.
Jalen Preston, he's giving him an earful.
He says it's a safety blitz. Turn out, help the quarterback.
Yeah. Trying to explain that to one of the new receivers. Meanwhile, Alabama with a big lead takes over.
Adam Zucker in New York with this Jeep update. We told you to sit tight when SMU is up 17-3 on Memphis. They made it 24-3, but Memphis all the way back. Brady White to Taj Washington. It's 27-all now. Remember, Memphis has won the last 6 against SMU. So we go back to Ness, Gary, and Jamie.
Thanks, Adam. Memphis just likes getting behind, I think.
So this is Alabama's 40th play in the game, which might not be good, but you know what is good? When you have 42 points on 40 plays.
It's not bad, is it? Brian Robinson in the backfield. Only the second time today. He's going to get the carry to the near side. And got a pretty good gain out of it. Well, tomorrow it's an NFL CBS doubleheader. Early games. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers battle the Chargers. Later, the undefeated Bills, led by Josh Allen, take on the Raiders. While the Bears try to keep their perfect record intact against the Colts. It all begins NFL Today. JB and the guys, noon Eastern, right here on CBS. And we'll have an update on the Patriots-Chiefs game that, due to COVID, has been moved. And our third quarter is about ready to come to a close as players switch ends. Mac Jones will come over to the sideline. Everybody puts up 4 fingers. And if I was an Alabama fan, I'd feel pretty good about having 4 fingers in the air right now. End of 3 quarters in Tuscaloosa. Crimson Tide ranked number 2, and they look all of that ranking. Set to start the 4th quarter from Tuscaloosa. And the Crimson Tide with the snap and the big lead and the handoff. And another first down run. Robinson still going. Finally getting a chance to play after Najee Harris played most of the 3 quarters. Brad and Gary back with you in the booth. Jamie down on the field. Well, you know, this was the year that we said, can A&M move up there in the Alabama territory? Unless something drastic happens, it's not going to happen this year.
No, they're not as good as Alabama yet this year. They're not there yet. They're better. I think they're a better football team this year. And maybe, you know, if they get Florida next week and knock off Florida, maybe they get right back into it. The thing that for Alabama, the only red alarm I've got is the running game. That last play was the longest rushing play of the day for Alabama.
And it was Brian Robinson, not Najee Harris.
When we come back here in a couple weeks, it'll be a better run defense for Georgia than the one we're seeing here today.
And there's Brian Robinson with this another good run.
So I think if you look at, you know, not the championship with Tua, but if you look at the rest of the Alabama championships, they were well-balanced teams. Run the ball, pass the ball. Can they be more balanced? Well, obviously they can throw it, but can they be more balanced? I think that's the one thing coming out of here through 3 quarters. I don't think, judging this 4th quarter, even if they roll up some yards rushing, through the first 3 quarters, they could not get that balanced running game that I think that Alabama will want to be a national champion.
Robinson got 16 on the last carry, and he got a couple more there. Leon O'Neal made the stop. Robinson will probably see the rest of the work. He had 10 carries last year in this game for just over 50 yards and a touchdown. And he had a couple catches as well. After that, it's Trey Sanders, who was one of the most highly touted recruits a couple years ago before being injured. Here's Mac Jones going deep. And nice coverage. Nope, maybe not nice coverage. He was headed for Mechie, and it's going to be pass interference.
He was looking for a Jerry Jeudy type catch right there. Did you see that one the other night?
Yes.
Pass interference, defense, number 17. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
If he would have gotten his head around, maybe.
Yes, maybe. Jalen Jones was out of position. The only thing he can do is push from behind, basically, with his backside, and it's only a 15-yard penalty in the NFL. That would have been down there on the, 5-7 yard line.
Yeah. As it is at the 27, a first down. Robinson stays in at the tailback spots. Devontae Smith, and a little pooch pass. Almost got to the first down. Picked up 9. So Devontae Smith, that's going to be his 7th catch.
Yeah, last week he and Waddle had 8 catches apiece. That's a catch right there, as Ness called it. A little better distribution with the football in the passing game too. If you can't get balance in the running game, it's nice to have balance in the passing game.
Actually, Devontae's 6th catch, not his 7th. Waddle's got 5. Mechie's got 4. And both Waddle and Mechie over 100 yards, well over 100 yards. Now Brian Robinson's doing a lot of this himself, and now his offensive linemen go, keep on going. We got your back. So the pile gets pushed all the way just outside the 10-yard line.
I saw Mel Ekior, number 55, start the push. He was the guy that's first loaded in and pushed from behind the offensive lineman, and then everybody else joined in. And then Big 55 said, yes, yes, yes. Gets the big, yeah, I started that push. That was me.
And Brian Robinson shows that he wants a few more carries. Stays in there. Got it just inside the 11-yard line.
Kind of kidding is who is Alabama going to let score this time?
And here he goes down to the 6.
You guessed Forrester.
Yep.
And it may Forrestal, and it might be.
Might be Robinson.
Spread that ball around.
A little sugar for everybody.
We thought, man, Miller Forrestal, could he be the guy?
Drive's not over.
Yeah. Najee Harris has a couple. All the receivers have one. Who gets another one now?
Well, Forrestal's on the sideline. That's not going to work.
Not going to work.
That's not going to work. They got Carl Tucker in there. Tight end. Devontae Smith in motion on 2nd down and 5. Robinson not going to get back to the line of scrimmage that time.
And now Sark goes, all right, we tried to do it. Sorry, we're just going to have to go to something else.
We might have to just throw this.
Yes, exactly. Uh-oh, look who's coming in. 87.
There he is.
We still might get this right.
You're gonna go crazy if it's
because in the last commercial I go to Ness, I go, so who do you think's going to get the next touchdown? They're going to spread it out, right? And Brad goes, Forrestal, 87. I go, okay, that sounds good.
They're down at 6. They can get a first down at the 1. Waddle over in the slot on the right. Forrestal comes out a little bit deeper to the near side. Jones.
They put the pick. He came in and had to run the pick on the play.
Incomplete.
Wait, I ran all the way in here to give a pick on the end. Watch. All right, let me do my job here. I got to just pick this guy.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That was a good route. They'll come in to try the field goal, rather. Reichert had a couple of field goals and hit all 8 extra points in the game last year. This will be a 27-yard attempt. And it's up and perfect from 27. Tacks 3 more on. And the Crimson Tide rolling 45-17. Let's take a look at the GMC game changers. Can't do anything, run or pass, unless the big eaters up front give you the time or the space to do both, Garrett.
Well, they did protection perfectly all day. Their running game wasn't quite there, but when you go 3rd and 22 and you could do a pump fake and throw a touchdown pass, you know that offensive line is doing their job. They ran for almost as many yards in that last drive that they ran the whole football game. I think Nick Saban, as we mentioned, looked at that and said, okay, you know, if we're going to play Georgia in 2 weeks, we need to run the ball better.
And there they are, average 334 pounds a man. And let's go down to Jake.
Brad, the first Saturday in October is taking on a new meeting. It's the inaugural #3 Day to kick off College Football Mental Health Awareness Week. You're seeing green ribbon decals being worn by players from both teams today, Texas A&M and Alabama. 14 other programs participating. Mark and Kim Helinski, the parents of Tyler, the Washington State quarterback who took his own life nearly 3 years ago, founded Helinski's Hope to drive initiatives like this to create powerful conversations to fight stigmas surrounding mental health in athletes. in speaking with players recently, honestly, it's working. The conversations are pretty eye-opening.
We saw that all start a year ago, and what a great cause. Kellen Mond wide open. Zaniah Smith trying to split the final two guys. They're going to bring it down now at the 32-yard line with a big play down the middle.
Had to know that that was the game plan going in. We opened with that. Can the running backs, can Zaniah Smith put some pressure on this defense, because from the running back spot, he can kind of get lost out there. They had their opportunities. They just weren't able to get to him enough, and when they did, he dropped one.
43-yard pickup down to the 32-yard line. Mond again, this time in trouble, and he's going to have to eat this one as he's dumped by Christian Harris.
If he didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, could be the first sack of the game. Looks like he got just past the line of scrimmage, right?
They got the marker right about the same spot they started. That might be one of those they look at, figure it out later.
Right. So again, A&M not only finishing this game, but thinking about getting better for next week's game against Florida. Trying to come away from the game, finishing it off, continuing the fight, and get better.
Kellen Mond, you saw passing yard as past Johnny Manziel in the A&M books. Short throw to Weidermeyer. And Jordan battling on the hit. So
you come into this game, you're going to play the #2 team in the country. Next week, you're going to play the #3 team in the country.
Not getting any easier, is it? Well, last year, they went 8-5, but remember, 3 of those losses were to the #1 team in the country. That's because right. They got #1, and then they got #1 coming back around, and they got another #1.
LSU, Clemson, and Alabama.
Yeah.
Different times in that game. I think it was that way.
It was something like that. 3rd and 6. Nice throw. Weidermeyer.
Hey, he's pretty efficient. You wonder if they had the team around him. You know, if Kellen Mond was playing for Alabama,
right,
would he not have the 373 up? You know, like
probably.
You know, if he was playing for Georgia with that team, or Florida, this team is pretty good. They're not quite as good as Alabama. We'll see if they're as good as Florida next week with the home game. But this guy has improved every year in his career. He's tough as nails. Finishes every game. Never talks bad about his teammates. Right. Jimbo loves him. Works hard.
He's just had so much put on his shoulders the whole time he's been the starter.
It's been him for 3 years.
Set the throw again to the corner of the end zone, and both the receiver and the defender fall down. It was intended for Rennick, who had a touchdown catch earlier.
Yeah, he had the matchup he wanted. Matched up against the inside linebacker, Christian Harris. Harris is right here, and he's looking around like, do I got this guy? Yes, I do, all by myself. No one deep, throw it up. Just stumbled and not there.
Got their feet tangled up a little bit, both of them.
So Christian Harris was actually a high school defensive back and wide receiver.
He plays like it.
Yes, plays very well in space.
Lane in motion. Give it off. No, it's nice play fake. And they're going to the same guy, and it's the same result.
I'll tell you, they should have given that one off. I know it wasn't a read. It was a play-action pass, but that's the one time it looked like something opened up front.
And Surtain did a really nice job on the back end for Alabama defensively.
Watch the action open up here. A handoff would have been right to the safety.
Yep. Patrick Surtain plays it beautifully.
Yeah, and remember the matchup was good last time? The matchup's not so good with this one. Surtain goes, oh, a 46 number to cover. That's not bad. I can handle a 46.
Preseason all SEC pick, Patrick Surtain. So 3rd down. And timeout taken by Texas A&M at the 7.5-minute mark. Game recap here. #2 Alabama, #13 Texas A&M. Aggies even thing up after being down 14 on that touchdown pass to the tight end Rennick. And then Najee Harris, 2 rushing scores. That one from 2 yards out after a 6-yarder earlier. Mac Jones doing a great job spreading the ball around. Devontae Smith, sensational catch in the back of the end zone. And then Jalen Waddle, as Gary said, if you can pump fake and then throw that long, nobody's going to catch number 17. The second 75 or longer touchdown by Alabama today. The other one was to Mechie. That one went for 87 when Alabama added a field goal, and that's where we are, 45-17. Kellen Mond, empty backfield. Throws to the corner. Man's there, and he's got it. Touchdown, and it's Aniyah Smith. So Smith did a big chunk of it. A 43-yarder to get him down there, and Kellen Mond hangs in and gets the touchdown pass of 14 yards.
This is all to feel good. Getting on that airplane that we finished the game and we're ready for Florida. We're looking at ourselves. We threw for under 300. We've established another guy. Can you cover this guy all over the field? Because he's a tough cover. They've taken basically a wide receiver and put him into that Clyde Edwards-Helaire spot.
Yep.
He doesn't run the ball like Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, but very few guys do.
That's right. That was the beauty of Clyde. I mean,
extra point is up and good. So a scoring drive of a little under 3 minutes, and on 3rd and 10 they cap a 75-yard march in 7 plays with a 14-yard touchdown pass to Aniyah Smith. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Smile Direct Club, State Farm, Taco Bell, and by Ford. Nice day to be out on the lake if you have some sort of satellite on your boat so you can watch the game. Coming up, our Jersey Mike's play of the game, presented by Jersey Mike's Subs. And across the way, with the refiguration of Bryant-Denny Stadium, our good friend Eli Gold and the Alabama Radio Network is now on the far side of the field. So Eli's calling everything backwards as far as we see it and you see it, which is really tough to do. Trust me, I've done it on basketball a million times. And we don't get to see our good friend Eli. He never usually wears a visor either, but he's in the sun over there.
Exactly, into the sun.
Here's a Jeep update in our studio. Adam Zucker. Zook, what do you got?
Well, Ness, Lane Kiffin has the Ole Miss offense getting hot late in this one. They were down 28-14. Got a goal line stand against them, and then Matt Corral to Jonathan Mingo for his second touchdown grab of the day. Tied up early in the 4th quarter. Back to you.
All right, good one there. Here it's 45-24. Mac Jones stays in. I thought we would see Bryce Young.
Yeah, but after the touchdown, I don't think he wanted to put any doubt in this football game. No touchdown there, we'd see Bryce Young.
Jones rolls and then dives forward as dropped for a 4-yard loss by Michael Clemens.
We talked about how A&M's schedule changed, flipping Alabama from the end to the beginning of the season. But Alabama's changed too. Prior to the old schedule, before Georgia, they were going to get a layup against Georgia State. Now they're going to Ole Miss and facing that Lane Kiffin offense. I mean, it's not the usual way that this Alabama team gets ready for a Georgia game. Usually they have that game before it, you know, that big game before a big LSU game or whatever. This time they're going to get tested with that offense again.
Brian Robinson again with another good run and a first down.
So that offensive line is also obviously in the game. If the quarterback's in the game, you're going to keep the offensive line in the game. And big center that time, Landon Dickerson comes around. He is really a valuable football player.
Going back to that layup you were talking about, Georgia State should have told Tennessee that last year when they lost to Georgia State.
Between Alabama and although Tennessee, you'll have to say, is pretty good football.
They've won 8 straight.
They've got the longest winning streak in college football.
How about that? Bryce Young on the sideline, the highly touted freshman. Number 2 overall recruit from a football quarterback factory, it seems, out in California.
Just remember, Bryce, Tua wasn't out there yet at this point.
That's true. Waddle, the motion man. Jones steps up, going deep again. Man out there again. It's Mechie, and he is gone again. Touchdown, Alabama. Think we have a new star we can talk about.
Holy cow.
63 yards for the score.
I mean, you know, I just don't quite get. There's the route. Got one-on-one coverage. No safety help inside. And you take an outside technique. It's just terrible technique outside that time. Miles Jones knows he has no safety in the middle of the field, so he jumps to the outside and gives the free release receiver a chance on a touchdown play. Just uncalled for defense. You know, the term the safety has kind of really gone out of college football. I think we ought to rename it. How about call them middles, backliners, because they no longer play safe back there anymore.
There was no help back there. 4th touchdown pass today, tying a career high for Mac Jones. He's got the lineman doing a hand dance with him, and he's got Mechie for 181 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. Next Saturday, best game for the best conference features 3rd-ranked Florida on the road against these Texas A&M Aggies, or number 21 Tennessee taking on number 4 Georgia. Coverage starts at 2:30 Eastern with a drive to Atlanta. Zook and the gang, followed by college football today, right here on CBS. Well, Mac Jones is saying, you know, when we were in with the twos last year practicing, and, you know, Judy and Ruggs and all those guys, I always liked you, John. And today he's like John Mechie, to the tune of 5 receptions for 181 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Remember that scout day we had?
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, this is just as good. All right, so these 3 guys have these 2, but one of them goes in motion, and I think that causes the problem. The safety doesn't know who to take. Who has he covered? He double covers the tight end. The corner thinks he has help. The 3-on-2 coverage is broken by one guy going in motion. That is those type of things. You get fancy and they work on the blackboard, but in the game, it does not work.
See, he was worried about Forrestal there, and see what happened to him.
And that's why I say the word safety has to change. I haven't seen a safety. They don't play safe anymore. They're out there like corners.
And we've got a new quarterback for A&M, Haynes King. Freshman out of Longview, Texas. And Kellen Mond did everything he could today. It's just too much against.
Yeah, and you don't want to get him dinged late in the game here. Big game coming up next week.
And a throw and a catch. Completion to Chase Lane. Kellen Mond on the day ended up 25 out of 44 for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. At the 5-minute mark, backup quarterback in for the Aggies, getting a little bit of work, scrambling around and doing a good job of it. Got flattened at the 45-yard line by DeMarco Helms. So the Aggies are going to be 1-1. Alabama will be 2-0. And I don't think there's going to be any change in the ranking for Alabama after this. A lot of people thought last week, great first half against Missouri, not so hot. Nick Saban said in the second half we had to kind of lost our concentration once we got the lead.
And he also mentioned not having the crowd there. I think his players were not used to that. There was no juice, and he kind of challenged them that you got to provide your own juice out there.
He said it was the same way for him. He said he walked out there and he said it felt weird for me, and he's pretty much seen it all. This throw broken up. Chase Lane, the intended receiver. Malachi Moore breaks it up.
Malachi Moore has been excellent the whole game, for the very first quarter all the way through the game.
So this will be Arkansas is the last team to beat A&M 8 straight times.
So remember, when you're watching Alabama play, you know, we talked about what A&M is measuring. They got to get ready for Florida next week and prove they can play or beat one of these big boys pretty soon, right? For Alabama, every time you watch them play, you go, all right, is this good enough to beat Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson? You know, you're measured against the top teams.
Right. Alabama's been the big brother in this conference for a long time, and Big Brother is moving to Monday. And the All-Star house guests are bringing the drama with them. Monday, watch a new episode of Big Brother All-Stars on CBS and catch up anytime on CBS All Access. So this is going to be the 33rd win of the last 34 at home for Alabama, and it will be, as we talked about 3.5 hours ago in the Open, and also when we showed you Nick Saban in his King's outfit, the King in his court, the assistants, this will be 20 straight victories. There it is again. And I appreciate the fact that Nick dressed up like that for us. We didn't know if we could get him in that outfit. And Kirby Smart will be next. And Kirby will try to break the string of 20 straight assistant coaches who have fallen to Nick Saban. Hard to beat a guy that's won 6 national titles and has a really good football team again.
The only thing, I think Lane's up next. Ole Miss, right?
Yeah, there you go.
He can make that
Lane,
board. Next week we'll have Lane's picture.
That's right.
We do it in 2 weeks.
Forgot about him because he hasn't played him as a head coach yet.
Well, the adjustment was made by Dick Saban. Dick Saban, when he hired Lane Kiffin in 2014. It took him a year, but since 2015, when he had Jake Coker at quarterback, this is now the 74th game and the 34th time this Alabama offense has gained more than 500 yards. Lane changed it. And since then, Sarkisian has taken over, and it stayed the same. It's not actually, look at almost half the time they're gaining 500 yards in a football game.
Not going to lose that many doing that.
Nope.
And again on the scramble, it's going to be another first down for King. King still going down the sideline. Bumped out finally around the 11 by Battle.
Had Ryan Reddick open in the flat, but when you're a young first player, you look for your first guy, and you're like, I'm getting out of here. Yeah. I'm not going to look for anybody. I'm going to run. But Reddick helps him. Watch him come back and peel back. Dylan Moses puts him on the ground, but you know, nowadays that blindside block, you got to be really careful not to just to lay the guy out. You almost accept the block instead of giving the block.
Nice 22-yard scramble by Haynes King out of Longview, Texas, and he's got him down at the 10-yard line, first and goal. King throws to the corner. It's intercepted by Alabama in the end zone, and it is Malachi.
Might finished a perfect game. I don't know. I just saw him maybe miss one assignment all day, but he has been in position. He's made tackles. He's taken away throws. He just looks like a real keeper out there.
Yeah. He and Brian Branch, 2 freshmen, and Pete Golding said Brian Branch had the edge early in camp, and then this guy just kept getting better and better and better. And that's why he's starting, and that's why he's had a heck of a game at his first home game at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Alabama's got the ball back en route to a victory. Well, Mac Jones, just an average day. 4 touchdown passes, and they've been some long ones to Mechie and Waddle, and the offensive line giving him time, and Devontae Smith doing his thing in the back of the end zone. Quite a day for number 10.
Yeah, he just didn't even make any mistakes. Even the interception really wasn't a mistake.
Yeah.
Just one of those things that happens every once in a while. Now we'll see the 5-star recruit. That's Young.
Doesn't have to do much with a minute 20 to go, but hand it off, which he does. And it's Trey Sanders. Those 2 guys, 2 of the most highly touted incoming recruits from 2 years ago, yes, and then this past year.
I remember Trey from watching practice last year. He had injured his foot. And I've never seen a guy injured as a true freshman. He worked the whole practice on catching the ball. He is about as focused as a young player, Trey Sanders is. He wants to be a great football player. Got to get healthy first, had that foot injury, and see what he turns out to be.
Look, low snap, and he has to pick this up, and he's going to lose yardage, but that wasn't his fault. And so just when he got an 8-yard pickup, he ends up losing yardage. Coming up after our game, Adam, Rick, and BJ will have The day's best highlights on the college football postgame show presented by Rocket Mortgage, which is about 30 seconds away.
So all in all, got to believe this Alabama football team is going to be worthy of taking a run in another championship, don't you think?
Sure looks like it to me.
Yep.
I know there's going to be things that guy is not going to be happy about, Nick Saban, because he doesn't like giving up 24 points. I get that. But you take that away, and it was a pretty darn good outing for the first home game of the year. Resounding victory at 52-24 certainly isn't going to move Alabama off the #2 spot in the country as far as the rankings. And for 20 straight times, an assistant coach falls to the man. And time for our Jersey Mike Subs play of the game. And it was a pump fake by Mac Jones and a long ball to number 17. And you can say goodbye at that point because nobody's going to catch a guy with that kind of speed. And here's how Eli Gold, our buddy, called it on the Alabama Radio Network.
They need 22 here. Mac's going to go long. He's got Waddle behind the defense. He's going to get a whole lot more than 22. Waddle's got it. He's to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. 87 yards. Touchdown. Mac to Waddle. How about that?
And how about that 87-yard touchdown? One of the many long touchdowns thrown today by Mac Jones. 52-24. We'll be back. Well, Alabama heads to the locker room with their second win of the year. This one more impressive than their road victory over Missouri last week. 52-24 is the final as they win their 33rd game of the last 34 here at home. Jalen Waddle, one of the stars, but John Mechie is the new emerging star as the three guys in that wide receiver core, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, and now you got to think and worry about John Mechie, who had the big game today with 181 yards and 2 touchdowns. So a resounding win at home for the second-ranked Crimson Tide. And again, Nick Saban makes it 20 in a row over his former assistants. Let's go down to Jamie with the winning coach.
Coach, for Mac Jones to throw 4 TDs to 3 different players, what does that mean to you in terms of his comfort level within this offense?
Okay, we'll hear from Coach Saban in the postgame. We have a technical problem down there as Coach Saban's headset is socially distanced from our sound, I guess. He'll be in the studio show with Zucker and the guys. 52-24 is the final. That'll wrap it up from Tuscaloosa for Gary Danielson and Jamie Erdahl. Brad Nessler saying so long from Tuscaloosa. Final score. Second-ranked Alabama 52. Texas A&M 24. College football postgame show presented by Rocket Mortgage is coming up next after these messages. See you next Saturday. The SEC on CBS. For now, so long from Tuscaloosa.